Everything's on.
Excuse me.
Have we all made a coffee or not?
Thanks.
We still got to get this like signed
Signed
up.
up.
Yeah,
Oh,
really
lovely,
badly actually. I'm actually annoyed I didn't do that from last
I'm
week.
annoyed.
I'm sorry.
I've been all the way home and come back and it's still not done.
That jet was good, isn't it? That was like.
That was so fast.
You've grown a beard since you started.
Literally, I need to leave in a minute.
Oh,
Put us on airplane there, too.
Right. We're on.
Okay.
We're on.
I'm going to get better at this for this
Hello.
episode. Enough
Hello.
people commented on the last one, like, to say he's been doing it for 8 years, doesn't know how to use a microphone, that's for sure.
I don't really.
Needs to be nice
You've been
and...
doing what for 8 years?
I've been doing podcasts for 8 years.
Have you?
Yeah, but not like this.
No, this is episode 3. You just
Not like, yeah, not like this.
Does yours go close? Is that?
Yeah,
It's
you gotta be
really.
close. You
It's
gotta be
really
nice.
Should it be
annoying. It's
closer?
like it works really well when it's like this close, and your voice sounds really, really sexy.
All right.
And yours
Here we are.
especially. But I haven't set it up, so it's really difficult to make it
I'm
actually
blocking
good.
you now as well.
Yeah, we need to figure
You'll
out.
be all right.
It's
Yeah.
like it fights against you. When I was trying to set it up, it's like
Yeah.
every movement you do, it's like it's going like, no, I don't want to.
Like rigor mortis microphone.
It is a
It's
bit
just
rigor
like,
mortis, yeah.
A gimbal, but not helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly. Right, I guess are we recording? We are recording. Can't see the red light. That's dangerous.
So people watch this on video as well?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
few.
On the
That's
YouTube, is it?
That's the aim. Yeah, that's the aim.
Oh, that's cool.
We don't.
New Jerry Springer show.
Ultimately, it's still a podcast, so it's like mostly audio.
Mm.
But podcasts are going way more visual.
yeah.
Don't know if you've
All the
noticed
clips
that.
and stuff.
Clips,
I
yeah,
have noticed
exactly.
clips
And
popping
certain
up.
other podcasts that have like really raised the bar, especially in action sports. There's a few now that are like dialed.
Are they?
Gypsy Tales, definitely one of them.
Yeah.
That's like Jace has set the bar so high.
I watch a few now.
Yeah, I do.
I
Rather than
never
watching TV.
would have said I would watch any. It's not my. I wouldn't watch someone have a conversation, but I actually
No.
watch a few now.
But
Yeah.
it is tough. It's like if it's just a split screen of, for example, me and Ollie, and it's in 720p and it's not great audio, it is tough to watch. Whereas
Yeah.
with this, we've got cuts going on.
Especially
We've
with our
got
delays.
Doug's putting graphics up over here, and it's like...
Actually, when we've done it before, we've been Skype. But when you've been, this isn't your first. Should
No, we
introduce-
literally just chatted about it. It's Vantajam tomorrow, and that was the last time I came on the podcast. Was in the back of a van on the way to Vantajam.
Yes, it was.
On your GoPro.
Yeah.
I was just going to say how things have changed in a year. Look how much
Oh,
better this
yeah,
is.
it was.
yeah.
There we
It was like the
go.
worst
Yeah.
audio as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it was-
something was wrong with it. Yeah, the microphone was
yeah,
broken.
the microphone was broken or something.
Oh,
Or
it was
Bernard
terrible.
was just being in the front.
Yeah,
Like
it was
loud.
really bad. Wasn't
But there was
it was bad.
That must have been DarkFest last year, was to just finish. Then you come home and we were like, let's try and at least speak to Sam about DarkFest.
Yeah, that was it.
It
We
must
must
have
get
been.
in quick. We're
Yeah.
not that quick, but we're here.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
just as quick as last year.
We'll do it
Yeah, it's
anywhere.
true.
Back of a
And
van,
that's true, yeah.
anywhere. We'll do it anywhere.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, it's good.
Just
And
down
Ollie,
the
Ollie,
road.
the podcast studio is literally on my road. I
Yeah.
almost walked
Really?
here, but I didn't.
Yeah. I said the chances. I said to George, the chances of Sam walking here are slim and none.
I was going to
Just
ride.
Not going to happen.
I was going to ride because my Trans-Madeira training, I'll be honest, has not gone well since I last saw you.
Trans-Madeira, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you met me on day 2. You took me for a nice ride. That was good. Good couple of hours, wasn't it?
That was a nice ride.
That was like a week and a half ago, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do a nice, good week and a half of training for Trans-Madeira. It's a 5-day enduro race. It's not really my specialty, so I'm going to turn up nice and prepared. I'll be honest, I haven't done much biking since then.
Yeah,
in
but
there, mate.
you can prepare for Trans-Madeira in the Surrey Hills. I truly believe that.
I think you could. I
How?
unfortunately went on a family holiday.
But how on earth can you prepare for the biggest jumps in the world in the Surrey Hills?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's a genuine question.
It's getting better.
Okay.
Innit?
That was good.
That was
Yeah,
good, actually.
straight in.
That
That
was
was
a nice
good.
segue,
That was a
that,
link.
wasn't
A
it?
segue. It's
That
called.
was a segue. We're working on it, aren't we?
That was
You know?
amazing.
Very
I'm like,
nice.
that
You-
was
But
really
it's true
good.
though, isn't it?
It's very
Like
difficult.
Trans-Madeira is not that like. I wouldn't have said it's really that daunting. You're already fit. You're already good at biking.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
And
though?
I think as well, I've heard it can be like the Meg Avalanche, which I also did last year, which I was kind of dreading because it takes an hour. It took me 58 minutes. And I was trying like pretty hard, like to go fast. Like I didn't want to die, but I was trying like I was tired at the end, and it wasn't like I needed to be sick or like hated my life. Like, it was obviously more fun once it had finished than when it was going on. But like I got to the end and I was like, yeah, that was wicked. I'd do that again. It wasn't like I'm never doing that again. I
Yeah.
think it's the same. If you try and win, yeah, you're gonna hurt yourself and be in pain.
Yeah.
But if you're just going to do it, hopefully it's going to be quite fun. I hope it doesn't rain.
I love the idea of the waves of effort during Mega Avalanche. You know, like yeah. God, I hate this. And then like a bit of like, I actually can't be bothered. I don't know if I'm even going to bother doing this. And then actually, I should try. Yeah, I'm going to make the most of this.
Especially because you do like 45 minutes. Oh no, it's like half an hour of like crazy downhilling with a million people crashing around.
Yeah.
And then there's a massive uphill that is honestly 15 minutes of uphill. But that's exactly where the hotels are. So you're pedaling up like, if I just go left, then I can just go to bed.
Let's get a beer.
But then you have to drop in again and do like the final 20 minutes of downhill. And then once you're down there, then you're like, oh, cool, this is good.
I've never done it. Have you done Mega?
No, never. I
I
feel
would
bad.
recommend.
I feel like I should do it. But
would you?
If I enjoyed it, then you would definitely enjoy it. Because I didn't go wanting to hate it, but I was like, this is just not for me. I don't know, like, I'll do it because it's cool. And then I actually loved it, like because you do qualifying day, which I think is 20 minutes. And that actually is more important almost because you have to get into the top, I think 30 of each. You go off in blocks of 200.
Right, yeah.
I obviously entered the week before, so I was actually 201. So I was on my own row all the way at the back. They had to extend out just for me.
The LCQ at the back.
Yeah, because I was that unorganised. And they're like, fine, Colin, you can do it. And then, yes, I had to overtake like 170 people, and it was so good.
Yeah,
and then got into the main event, and then was quite far back in the main event as well, actually. Okay. But I was in the carnage. But I didn't get the full... So, you know, like when everyone drops into the proper glacier and everyone just nails themselves, like Deeks has got a good video where they all crash into one turn. It wasn't quite like that. It was like a warm summer. So there was snow, patches, but we didn't really start on the snow. It was quite a rocky start. So I think I need to go again for the full experience.
Where do you do all of the overtaking? If you overtook 170 people?
In the warm-up one, yeah, like...
That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
It's kind of... You get to do the track... You get to practice the day before, but it's quite long, isn't it? So just one lap. Just one lap will do. But it's like at the start, it's like quite fire roady. So then you can nail a lot of people there. So I overtook a lot of people on that bit, and then got overtaken back again a lot on the pedally bits.
Yeah.
Same in the main race too. I think I got overtaken by about 20 people in the uphill.
Counting them as they go by.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Yeah.
But you kind of settle into a good rhythm of people who are like on your level of how hard you want to try.
Yeah.
Lots of English guys do it. Lots of beersy blokes do it. And so we actually had quite a good time on the way down, like laughing at each other if you almost crash and then being like, oh, go on, mate. And you see someone with a pedal falling off or something. You're like, oh, no, thank God that's not me. Or
I know I should do it. I know
Yeah,
I should
I'd like
do
to do it.
Yeah,
I think I'd like to do it. I'd definitely do it.
Do you think you could do a mic'd up live podcast 1 hour down the whole thing?
I don't know.
There's an
Maybe
idea
you
for
could.
it.
That's
Okay,
a
yeah,
great
probably
idea.
not. There'd be a lot of swearing, I think. And like,
Yeah.
this is rubbish.
I saw a
Just
horrific
shit.
video
Just
of
sack it
Will
off.
Easy. Have you seen that video?
No.
It's really horrid. So poor Will did the mega and he got pinned up against a snowbank in all of the carnage. And that didn't nail his knee, I don't think. It was all of the other people nailing, like going into his knee. So it's just him like screaming, you know, like in agony up against the bank. That actually put me off a little bit. Thought I was close to...
Yeah. It's weird because it's like a different kind of excitement. Because I've always been like rampage excitement or like trick excitement where you're at the top, you know what you're going to do. So you're like, oh, okay, the risk is this, that and this because I might overshoot or I might not rotate the flip or something. Mega's like, you're on the start line and
it's all like the other stuff's just
what
you,
is
innit?
going to happen?
The other stuff's like, it's you against you.
Yeah.
And the trick or whatever.
The Mega's just
Mega's
hour.
just like, it's you against like loads of blokes. So it's
2,000
just
people
like on
that
it.
can do anything. And there's some guys there, I'll be honest, especially the French guys, really want to win bad and they'll do anything to get past you at any point.
It's a funny event, isn't it? Because people that win it aren't necessarily, it doesn't like translate necessarily to like fame or like,
no,
you know, they're obviously amazing riders, really fit, really fast, blah, blah. But it's like it's its own standalone event, but it doesn't translate as much as like Rampage, which is another standalone event.
True.
But I don't know if
I don't
can
think I've
just
ever
do
gone
mega.
and tried to find out who won the mega. Do you know what I mean?
No,
I've been
it's
like,
weird,
look
isn't
who
it?
won the
Yeah.
mega.
Yeah, I actually couldn't
Because
tell
it's
you
such a
one person in the top
random
5
race.
when I was there.
Yeah.
I know Deaconator got like 87th place and
That's
I
all
got
that
like
matters.
140th. That's all I know.
That's all that matters. Where did the Deaconator finish?
Yeah. No, I know my teammate Kaya Hearn, he's like I think he got top 20 in one of the last World Cups. He's a beast. Like he loves all his fitness and protein shakes and that. And he can really go fast. And I think he got top 15.
Wow.
So that's really showed me how impressive the actual top guys that kind of haven't heard of are.
What do you think makes a winner of the mega? What is it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
surely you've got to be European.
And there's got to be something a little bit loose to go fast over some of those like
quite crazy,
super gnarly sections.
And I think local knowledge helps too. I think there's like,
yeah,
when you look through the woods, you see a few like sneaky skids down the hill, and you're like, someone knows a shortcut, maybe.
Yeah, wasn't there someone a few years ago who got done for that, who finished pretty high?
I think so, yeah.
Who cut off like a...
That was Joe Connell. Yeah. They had it on camera, didn't they?
Is that as it was?
I think Deeks actually
did he not film
snitched
it?
on him. Yeah, he filmed it and he snitched on him.
Yeah.
He's like the TMZ.
He's always in the right place at the right time, isn't he? If he ever gets his GoPro out, I'm scared, because it just means I'm probably about to have a huge crash that's going to go famous on the internet.
Watch him out and don't crash.
I'm desperately trying to find Mega Avalanche results, but even the fact that I can't even find them easily is like...
Well, I know Killian Braun. He does like...
Oh.
Maybe a top 5.
But has he won, Killian? Killian has.
Has he?
Okay, yeah.
But he's famous because of YouTubing, not because of Mega Avalanche, really,
totally,
isn't he?
yeah.
You just know of him.
He's almost the only example. I feel like... Did Jerome win?
Oh, maybe Jerome did win one.
I feel like Jerome's won before. Remy
maybe.
Absalon.
There's a couple, though. There's like Mega Avalanche, then there's like Inca Avalanche.
Yeah.
And then there's...
Yeah, there is a series. You're
There's
right.
one on Reunion Island, I think.
Yeah.
I was checking that one out.
Yeah,
That one sounds
Up
alright.
for that, yeah. Yeah, but I think Killian is the only one that stands out to me as like a name that I remember has won it.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? But it does get a lot of people entering, like you said, though, that are World Cup racers, enduro riders.
It's quite
is it
fun.
not?
But
But they just
not this year.
But they just don't end up in that top bit where
Yeah.
you'd notice them. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
always,
totally,
like you'd win or someone like that's there, but they don't necessarily get top 10 or anything.
You just look for the snow carnage, really, don't you?
Yeah.
Have
That's
you
it.
done Transmadeira yet?
Never know.
Never.
Yeah, back to your question, I guess, which was how can you train?
Nah, it's
You
good.
can train for Transmadeira, but
Yeah.
not big jumps. I kind of always say as well, for DarkFest, I guess you mean, you can't train anywhere for that. You
No.
just have to have nice time on your downhill bike, really.
So bike time is important though.
It's the only way, because it's so different to everywhere else. You can't actually, even if you make a 50-foot jump, which I did actually make in the sand quarry, rebuilt it like in November to kind of practice, which did help, but it's so different, it doesn't really help. Like once you get there, it's just totally different.
Yeah.
So you can't really practice. I don't think living here is necessarily a disadvantage.
What would be your steps to being ready? For instance, like if someone was already a good rider, but and they were like, look, I'm coming to DarkFest this year, but I need to get ready, and I'm not. They're not necessarily naturally the guy. Let's say one of your teammates who's a racer.
Yeah.
Something. What would be your steps that you would like almost prescribe to someone to get to those jumps and not feel completely...
True. Well, I was just say my prep for it. I actually do a bit of gymming before then, just for strength-wise. Firstly, because it's such a long month of building. Like, I'm hiking up and down, and by the time I get to the event, I'm knackered. And some days you push up a lot, like, because the course is actually, I think, almost 1 kilometre long. We do get lifts to the top, but sometimes you just want a session like the bottom 2 jumps. And even that's probably, I don't know, 300-400 metre push up by the time you've gone up. So you do like 1 lap every 15 minutes or something like that. So you definitely you do get really tired.
Yeah,
So I actually do go to the gym.
hot.
And it's quite hot as well, yeah. And if you crash, like, you just need every bit of meat on your bones possible to help you out, because it's like getting hit by a train there. Like, normally you have a crash and that's kind of the end of your week. But we actually did quite good this year. We only had one collarbone from Vinnie Armstrong. If you saw that crash, I don't know if you guys saw that.
No.
She took both her hands off on the 90-footer. Like, she had a brain fart first time she hit it, and just took both hands off, and the bars just went into her stomach. She rolled down the landing and just broke her collarbone, which is pretty miraculous to just have that. It's
When
like
you say it's brain fart, like she wasn't trying to do a...
no, she was coming up like a
Kinda.
little bit short, and I think she just
right.
was like a deer in the headlights and took her hands off
Yeah.
and sort of just hit the knuckle a little bit and bounced.
What
was our-
speed is that? A crash on the 90?
Pretty fast, 40 something. I know that the into the step up's 46 miles an hour, and I imagine the 90's maybe a bit slower than that, but it must be 40 mile an hour. It's like jumping out your car at 40 mile an hour, isn't it?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Um,
From height, jumping off the top of a lorry at 40 miles an hour.
onto some gravel.
Oof.
Oosh.
Oof.
But yeah, no prep. Like, literally, like I said, just bike time, because. And once you're there, you can improve every day so much, because that's the only thing you can really practice. If you went to like shame it's not really there anymore, but the 50-to-1 line would be like a great start just
Yeah.
to kind of be up to the speed and get used to the speed of riding a downhill bike. Even riding downhill tracks, I think, is quite helpful on a big downhill bike because you just get used to the speed. A jump bike is not really that helpful there because it's totally different.
Yeah, so
Right.
speed is the thing that comes up loads and loads. And
Yeah.
actually, it's something I massively feel coming from the Surrey Hills and just riding like low speed stuff. It's not that we don't have loads of turns, loads of jumps, whatever, but it's all within a certain speed range because the hills are so small.
Yeah.
And
Even
then
the dirt jumps are like short and steep here, aren't they? So you actually go
Yeah.
really slow
Yeah.
and you kind of could just sort of jump off at any
You
point.
almost stall out, don't
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
And you could run away from almost any jump if you jumped off your bike.
Speed, I'd say I'm the most uncomfortable with when I go somewhere else. It'll be the thing
Yeah.
that I notice the most. I'm like, what?
Even if you get to Whistler or something, or even
Yeah.
Wales. If you get to
Yeah.
Wales, that's a different speed, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also hard to judge stuff because you're not used to doing it anyway. It's
Yeah.
like hard to judge speed when you're not used to going that fast. You'd be like, oh my God, this
Dude,
feels
it's so-
alien to me that I'm going this fast towards a jump.
It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
true because like even stages of Transmadeira will be uncomfortably fast.
That's going to be hurtling, isn't it?
Yeah, compared to what you're used to on an enduro bike, it's like you're never going to go that fast down one of these hills because it
And
lasts
blind,
10
right?
seconds.
Yeah, and we sort of make the most out of our hills, don't we? All the tracks have got
Yeah.
lots of turns because otherwise it'd just be a 30-second straight line or
Yeah.
10-second straight line. Whereas there they can go straight downhill because it's massive and cool.
Yeah. So you would say that dirt jumping wouldn't be on your Dr. Reynolds wouldn't prescribe
No,
dirt jumping.
I don't
for
think I would.
interesting.
No, I think down because it's not like you're doing double tail whips there or whatever. So it's not like you can
Yeah.
quickly do some double tail whips and be like, right, I'm ready for the DarkFest. You kind of just need to do big. I did quite a lot of flips and like 360s on my downhill bike because I went out there early to do a week's worth of riding. 3 weeks worth of building before the week of riding.
Yeah.
We actually rebuilt like some kind of big jumps there, like some 50-footers to kind of get comfortable on.
Yeah.
And that definitely helped. I'd say I actually was the most confident this year at DarkFest I've ever been, even though I'm getting a bit old and a bit. So that's actually the thing I struggle with most these days is like the self-confidence, isn't it? Like, I don't know if it's the
Imagine
same
that.
for you, but you see the kids and they're like, I don't know, maybe like we were 10 years ago where you don't think about anything. Now I get too worried about what's going to go wrong rather than what can go right. But this year was different. I was like super confident. I don't know why that was.
It doesn't come across that you would ever be,
No.
that you ever even question anything. Because I definitely do now I'm older. I
Yeah,
definitely have
completely.
moments and I'm just like, you're not that guy. You're not. Like
Yeah,
the guy that's
it's
doing
gone.
that is crazy like you used to be. And I'm just not that
Yeah.
kind of crazy anymore. I'm not.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? I definitely have gone through the last sort of 3. I think it's approaching 30. You kind of like, oh, I'm not the crazy guy anymore. Like,
Yeah.
that's fine. And you see all the crazy kids come, do all their crazy stuff, and you're like, wow, that's cool. That's next level. I'm not on that level anymore, so I'm just gonna. And then it's quite easy to be
Yeah.
sort of settle down into the background a little bit. But whereas this year, I really had some things I've always wanted to do. That I kind of thought like, oh, maybe I'm never gonna do that now. Like, flip that big rocket launcher was a good
I
example.
thought
which
that was it.
I've wanted to do that since I first built that jump.
Yeah.
And then never did it. And 4 years on, I'm definitely not crazy than I was 4 years ago, but just had the confidence and it went just right. Next year, I need to do the 90. I wanted to flip the 90 this year. I was like, oh, it just didn't, the opportunity didn't quite come. Next year's 100% going to do it.
When you say the opportunity, what is it that you're looking for?
Well,
Like,
it's
what is
actually
that
like-
thing?
That is one thing, actually, what we always say when everyone arrives. If you've been before to DarkFest, you know how it goes. You have a week
Yeah.
to do everything you want to do. And it is a long course. So actually, if you've not been before, it could take you 3 days to do every jump.
Yeah.
Because everyone has their own little missions. Like some guys want to trick the step up and want to empty their trick bag on the perfect day. So we battle with wind a lot there. So sometimes you only get an hour in the morning and that's it for the day because it's windy for the
Right.
rest of the day.
Right.
But some days, like this year was amazing. You could ride all the way up to like 12, 1 o'clock till it just got too hot,
Okay.
which we've never had before, which I think is why everyone rode so good. Probably including myself as well because the weather was just perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've got like a lot of things you want to tick off, it's actually a lot of work. Like, because you don't just get to the top in the morning and then you're like, right, I want to flip the 90, I want to do that. You don't just do that first go. You do like 3 or 4 laps to warm up,
Yeah.
maybe try a few little things to warm up. And actually every lap you do is, like I said, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes to do a full
Right,
lap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then really quickly you can, the whole
Day's
morning
gone.
can be gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And then someone else will be on a mission. You kind of want to watch that for a little bit or have a drink because you're tired. So you have to like really know when is the right time because you don't want to go for it when you're not ready and when the
Yeah.
time's not right or if it's a bit windy. But if the time is right, you kind of have to crack
Kinda have
on.
to
So
go
it's
in
like
it.
a real.
Yeah.
It actually takes a few years to work that out.
Yeah, I had that. I mean, it's totally different, but we rode some dirt jumps last weekend. And when I've not ridden my little bike for a while, I'm like frothing for it almost too much that I have to be like, look, you're not that guy anymore. Just chill. Because otherwise I just ride until I literally can't ride at all. Like I can't even pull anymore. My legs are burnt, arms are hurting, but I'm like, no, I just can't stop.
Start
I'm
making
enjoying it too
mistakes,
much.
don't
That's
you?
cool.
Start making loads of mistakes.
But then it can fizzle off, can't it? And then you can
Yeah.
like lose the excitement, and then you like, oh, I should have just done it when I felt good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely like
You learn that game of like, right, I just need to chill for a bit and then come
Mm.
at it and tick some stuff off.
it's true everywhere, isn't it? Just especially out there.
Well, yeah,
There's a lot of
especially when
guys
it's
put a lot of
massive
pressure.
stuff.
A lot of guys put a lot of pressure on themselves to do things they think that they're going to do at home, and then everyone says, well, I thought I was going to do this. Now I'm here.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm going to do that. I'm
Yeah,
going to
it's not
reset the
happening.
goals a little bit.
Yeah.
That is, I noticed that you flipped that jump.
That's
So-
wicked. That has to be the biggest one I've ever flipped, like airtime wise.
Yeah.
Because I've always just been worried about. Because actually, the most difficult thing at DarkFest is the speed. Because we have like, if you have 2 miles an hour upwind, you can case that jump. And then it's actually in the morning when the valley heats up, the air comes up. Then you have to go as fast as you can for that jump. In the evening, you have to brake for that jump because either the air's thinner or
Wow.
the valley cools down, so the air kind of slowly moves down. Like you can barely feel it, but just when you ride it, like a lot of overshoots happen in the afternoon, evening, so you actually have to brake for that jump. So I can't really remember what we're talking about.
Yeah,
actually.
that's crazy.
Yeah, so
That
that's
is
what I was
really
worried
crazy,
about. Because if you flip a jump that big and overshoot by 5 meters, you'd over rotate, and that's how I broke my back 10 years ago. So that's always in the back of my mind. But went for it this year and it's perfect.
So to our listeners who maybe haven't done a backflip or whatever, or probably it's easy to watch DarkFest footage and think it's just crazy or whatever. I would say probably the majority even of the views are probably people that think they've watched, say, that flip on the moon booter, they probably just think, well, he's crazy.
Like an Evil Knievel.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Like,
turn your brain off and have a
what-
crack.
you're
It's really not
just
the
talking
case.
about, yeah, exactly. You're talking about humidity, but like for that flip, you knew it was going to be that. What do you have to do for a flip that slow?
You literally, like, I was talking to Isted about it because he's so nuts. He just does it like every run. He's just like, mate, you literally just roll your eyeballs back. So, like, you
So
don't.
it's just a suggestion of a flip.
Yeah, because the lip's so steep and the landing's so steep. If you think about it, actually, if you jump it straight, you go from almost vertical up to almost vertical down. And if you're doing a flip, you do exactly the same, just the other way. You're almost vertical up.
Hey, yeah.
You come in almost vertical down, and you don't go off a jump and lean forwards, do you, to get that? It kind of just happens. So it's actually the same in a flip that big, because I think it's like 2.5 seconds of airtime, which doesn't sound much, but it is, isn't it? And if you've already done a quarter of a flip or even half a flip on the way up, you only need to do half a backflip in 2.5 seconds. So actually, you really do absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So that's one of the things I struggle with the most with flips is being able to slow them down. It's the thing that I talk myself out of doing them
Right.
Yeah.
because I'm like,
I'd
you're
almost
going to
rather-
pull too hard. You're going to over rotate. You're going to like nail your coccyx or loop out, or it's just a crap crash to have when you chuck the bike and then you're falling backwards.
Yeah, it's almost worse it's almost worse over rotating than under rotating sometimes, isn't it?
So that, like, I've always struggled with it, and I used to try and stare at the sky.
Yeah.
That was like, even actually, I remember slowing one down at night harvest with you, and it was at night, and I remember staring at the
On that trick jump.
yeah
Yeah.
because it was a lot of airtime, and I remember staring at the stars to try and I sit down first of all to not bar shag, so you just sit down and stare at the sky for a bit, and then that's how
Hopefully it
approximate my
works
flips
out.
are. That's how not ready I am for flipping anything
Yeah,
at
no.
DarkFest. But like, yeah, I find it so mad that you just literally roll your eyes back. That was like the
Yeah, and kind of you don't do a pop or anything. You
Yeah.
literally just go off it and just sort of keep following the lip up with your eyes.
wow.
But then, like, as soon as I
Holy.
decided to do it, it was fine. Like,
Yeah.
I did it in the morning, first thing, when you have to go as fast as you can for the jump. Because my biggest worry was overshooting. And then, obviously, the further down the landing you go, the more airtime you have. So your flip's going to keep rotating. So you're going to
Yeah.
probably just land on your back. And that's actually exactly, how I broke my back. Going too far, landing on the back wheel, looping out the manual and landing on my back, like, without knowing. So that's kind of what I was worried about. And then, like you said, then you don't want to do too much the other way, and then you're like, oh, then I'll probably under rotate.
Yeah.
But actually, it's just sort of so deeply in you. You've probably done, I
Yeah.
5,000 backflips ever. And as soon as I took off, I just knew exactly what was happening. It was just really big. Just had to stay calm and wait there.
Yeah. So my fear of over rotating on that jump that you flipped is obvious why. Let's say your theory behind the 90, you obviously thought long and hard about flipping the 90. Like, what would differ for the 90 flip? Because it's not the same thing, right?
Not at all, no. That's why it's scary, because it is 90 foot long. The jump, you're not going as high, you're just going far. And the takeoff is super mellow. So you'd really then have to give it like a full pull. And like a couple guys did do it, and they were like, yeah, you have to give it like, even though it's 90 foot, you still have to give it like a good pull. Because it's a big downhill bike, and it's not like a very kicky lip. I think over the years, that lip's kind of like mellowed out a little bit. So next year, we're going to build it up way steeper and make it more of like a, because we got the 110 now, so the 90's kind of a bit like obsolete almost. And that was actually the worst thing about building that 110. Normally the 90 is like, whoa,
The
like
boy.
the big boy, yeah, and like everyone's like doing run-ups to it, like, oh no, right, who's gonna hit the 90 first? Because it is massive. And then the 110 was there, and it just was like, oh, the 90 looks cute, but it's still the same. It's still the same. So I think next year we have to make the 90 better somehow, like make it taller, steeper, or more trickable somehow.
Let's talk about complex. Yeah.
Nice, man.
That was all right.
Beautiful. Oh, that was a moment right there.
Yeah, that was really nice.
God bless. Okay, the Complex Fix 2.0 massager helps warm up muscles before and after any activity, right? I use this legitimately most days.
Yeah, you do. You're a big fan, aren't you?
I'm
yeah.
a huge fan of it. It's my favourite Complex product by a country mile. I love it.
It doesn't come as a surprise because all of the top physios actually use Compex.
Yeah,
and
teams.
And all, yeah, exactly.
Athletes,
exactly.
Yeah,
around the world.
Yeah, and companionship people, members.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
everyone. All right, so let me, I'm going to give you a couple of features. You just point them out.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, for our audio listeners, I'll explain them. If you head over to the YouTube video, you can see them.
You can see him.
Okay.
And it is great. It's a visual feast.
Yes.
It really is.
All right, it really is. All right, so we've got the ergonomic design, rotating head, helps reach the toughest areas. And that's what I like to do. I like to get that thing cranked around, get it inside the little nooks and crannies, usually in your little neck areas, really nice. Okay, we got a speed adjustable dial on the back. Okay, 5 rotational speeds, 17, 25, 33, 42, 50 SPS. Okay, battery life indicator on the back too, so you know where you're at. Removable, rechargeable, lithium polymer battery provides up to 90 minutes of massage. 90 minutes is a lot of massage. So you've got 5 interchangeable tips. Show us those, Ollie. There's all these different ones. Personally, I like the big, hard one.
Sorry, again. Can you say again? I didn't hear.
I like the big, hard one.
Okay.
That's my favourite. Okay.
Enough said.
It's got 16 millimeters of impact travel, provides more intensity and helps reach deeper tissues. Okay. It's also got a quiet motor. So unlike certain things that vibrate in your house, it's not going to wake the neighbours up. Okay? Okay. And, mate, I mean, head over to compex.com. Take a look at all the other recovery tools they've got. I'm on the website right now, mate. I'm on the website right now. What we got?
They've got absolutely everything
wireless
you need.
Air compression recovery boots. Those things look amazing.
Yeah.
The SP 8.0 massage stimulator, which I think
I've got. Yeah.
you've got that.
I've got.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's one of the best things you can use in after an injury. If there's like a muscle group that you can't get to, these things work amazingly well. The muscle stimulators are some of the best as well that Compex do. They are the best.
There you go. I've got the Compex Mini,
Yeah.
which is a cheaper version, obviously. But yeah,
Right.
I'll, again, use that all the time, mate. I'm always linked up to that thing.
Yeah.
So we've got an offer code, of course, for the companionship. If you want to take recovery seriously, okay? You want to be recovering. Best thing about good recovery means more fun. Means you can do biking more, do working more.
Yeah, you're right.
Whatever you want to do more, basically. All right, so if you head to compex.com, enter the code, The Ride Companion. What is it?
Okay, well, is that the Ride Companion? Is that lowercase or uppercase?
Uppercase.
Uppercase,
Yep.
okay. So
Compex.com. Yep, capital, The Ride Companion.
Yep.
That's going to get you 20% off everything on the store.
20%.
And it's actually
off.
20% off literally anything, even if it's already discounted. So you can get an extra bit of discount.
10% off?
No, double it. He's fell off his chair again. We're going to have to stop doing these deals, man. We can't stop it. Get the guy a helmet. Head to compex.com. Enter the code The Ride Companion. Stop this guy falling off his chair.
Dude.
Get 20% off everything and everything.
Thanks, Compex.
Thanks, Compex. Wow. Is the movement in the 110, could that be pushed bigger, or are you like getting there now with like speed and everything?
Well, when Isted did his record flip, which was exactly 120 feet,
Yep.
he had a tailwind in the evening. He went as fast as he could. He pulled as hard as he could to pop the flip higher. And he said he literally waited until the wind was in his sails, and then he dropped in. So he literally was looking to try and just... Because if he landed like in the right spot, it would have been a 110-foot flip, which he did a couple times. He did. Like
He was trying to get a bit more.
Yeah,
out
he
of
did
it.
a couple like 109s, and then he was just like, "Well, I want to do 110 because it just sounds better, doesn't it?" So he went up again, and we were like, he was literally just flipping it like, just like more and more.
Really?
And then starting to try and just go deep on it as well. Like he was literally playing with it. It was really cool to see. And then the last one, he just went. You can hear it in his voice, and he's like, "Oh, massive! Come on!" Yeah, it was really cool because everyone just knew that.
So he'd already done it a few times before then.
Yeah, he did like
Holy.
3, 4, 5
Wow.
over the old record, I think, or whatever it was, and then he just had to go for a bigger one whilst he was there because it worked. He flipped it. Hodgie flipped it,
Yeah.
and Bienve all flipped it as well. And we kind of had to keep measuring them, like whilst you could see the time mark, and then write down like, okay, that was Bienve. He's currently got the record. Oh, Tom's just done a bit of a bigger one, so we kind of just
Trying to
keeping
break the
track of
record
it
there
throughout
and
the
then.
week.
Holy.
And then it was actually the last jump because we actually got a lot of rain on Thursday. This is on the Wednesday night, like it was getting dark. And you launched that big one with the tailwind. That was the last jump of the evening because it was so dark. And then actually turned out that was the last jump of the 110 of that year because it was such like a.
Oh, was it?
It had to be perfect. You had to go as fast as you could. And after that rain, it never quite got back to the concrete hard that it could. And it's just not a jump that you could play with.
Right. Okay. So you don't even jump it after that. It just like
that was the last jump of the 110. Yeah, it was a good one.
It was a good one.
It was a good
Holy
one to
shit.
do.
Made it on TV channels and stuff.
It has, yeah. It was on
Really
like
cool
BBC
to see that.
Is it really?
the
Yeah.
other day.
Was it
Wow.
BBC? Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. Some guys like tag me on Instagram, like, look, big air on the BBC.
That's sick.
I mean, how cool is that? You've made an event,
Especially
it's
for
actually
Tom.
now. Yeah, absolutely. But like, actually now the event has gone full. I don't know. It's now at the very height of. It's on TV.
Yeah, it's like
one
pop
of the
culture.
Yeah, it's like one of the places that
Broken
your
through.
uncle sends you a video of the riding. It's like Rampage. It's like
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true. That's
congrats.
awesome. Yeah, it kind of never was meant to be like that. It was just experiments.
so. How did it start then?
It
What was actually
started-
the start?
It was a road trip with me and Macduff, and actually the Welsh boys, Adam and Danny, and Dylan Stone as well. Back in the days, we just did a road trip, and we kind of wanted to make it crazy. We love making big step ups. We made that one in Pease Lake, actually, the Pure Darkness step up. I guess quite a few people have probably gone there and ridden it. It's still there somehow.
I've never
I
even
think
heard of it.
10 years ago we
No
made
way.
it. You might have seen a picture of it. You probably might recognise it. It's quite like a lot of people ride it.
Okay.
And then after that, we wanted to go. Actually, it was the first time me and Pilgrim ever went to South Africa because Monster had just launched there. So we went to a contest there, and then we were like, "Oh, South Africa's actually the funnest place ever. Like, it's so good for riding. The weather's amazing for the winter."
Yeah.
And then whilst we were there, we met a few guys, and they were like, "Yeah, our friend's got a farm. You can build a big step up there for your next project." So we actually, the next winter, went back there and made that massive step up, which was Pure Darkness 2. Did that on dirt jump bikes. And then we made Pure Darkness 3 the next year, which is when we made the 72-foot tall rolling tower or something out of trees.
Yep.
And then made the step up even bigger.
So it's just a step up. Just building a step up every year.
But number 2 was, and then number 3 was the even bigger step up. And then we actually built a load of other jumps and then started to ride them on slope style bikes as well because it got a bit bigger. Yeah. And that was pretty nuts.
Step ups were big.
It was still, I think, bigger than the DarkFest step up now. I think it still is.
I've never heard a single speed freewheel make a sound.
You came out to number
How'd
2,
you go
didn't
out?
you? Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard it before or since. Like that was right at the limit of what you could. I feel like what you can roll out of at that speed.
Yeah, I
on
think
a
so.
Single speed like jump
Dirt
bike.
jump bike, yeah. Well, then actually after Pure Darkness 3, we actually just decided the jumps were too big for jump bikes. I jumped that step up 3 times and I crashed it 3 times.
Really?
I jumped it once straight, just exploded when I landed, and I was like, oh well, whatever, I'll flip it. Landed, exploded again, and then I was like, oh, whatever, well, that's not going to happen a third time. Flipped it again, exploded, hurt my wrist, and that was the only times I hit that step up on a slope bike.
What year is this then? What sort of year are we talking?
I think that's 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was one and done.
Well, yeah.
I was one and done, exploded on
It
landing.
wasn't exploded. And we're like, right, we're not going to make the jump smaller. We're just going to have to get bigger bikes.
Bigger bikes.
So
But
that's
people are
when-
already doing. Were people doing this already?
Yeah, that's
I'm trying
exactly
to think of the
when
trajectory of when this was all
Fest
happening.
series was just starting off as well.
Right,
They had
okay.
Huckfest and I think the first Loose Fest. And we were kind of like, oh, sick, you guys are literally doing exactly what we're doing, just making big jumps for downhill bikes.
Yeah.
Let's like collab. So we invited all like the Fest crew out to the first DarkFest. So
Which back then is what? Andreu.
Sorgi, Nico
Yeah.
Vink, I think Zink came,
Yeah.
Aggie.
And that was cool. From memory, back then they were inviting a few moto guys as well. Is that right? Is that around then? You get like
Yeah.
Berryman would go
Yeah.
and hit some stuff.
Yeah. That was cool. That was kind of all started like, big mountain bike jumps, motocross
Yeah.
jumps, crossover. We've never done that at DarkFest. I think the
Yeah.
jumps are too soft and they need to be too perfect. So like, if we had a motocross bike, it would chop the lip up too much
Okay.
and make too much work. But we've always thought about it because that would be
Yeah.
cool.
Fuck yeah, it
'Cause
would.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually,
That was when
step
like,
ups.
for me personally, started seeing it more and more was like this whole movement of like Fest series and that like, I wouldn't say it's a festival, but they were inviting people, right? You could go and watch.
Yeah. They always had an open day and
Yeah.
people would come and watch, and it was normally at a bike park or the
Yeah,
one in South
it was a
Africa.
bit
We had
more
like an
public.
open day for the locals to come as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
Loose Fest is at an actual bike park as well, and Huckfest. So that's kind of
Okay.
the
Yeah.
jumps with the
Huckfest
show.
is the Norwegian one. is that
Huckfest was
right?
a Norwegian one. That was the original
Okay.
first ever one. I think that was quite a few years before any of the others actually.
That was Mackin and
That's
Yeah.
right.
was it Trond as well?
Potentially,
I can't remember
I
who's
can't remember.
first.
They were definitely
yeah.
there. Yeah, it's definitely Mackin. I think Tron was involved too. Somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that movement's starting to kick off, and then you're like,
So
look,
we kind of like we're both doing the same thing.
collaborate a little bit.
Let's collaborate. Yeah, and all you guys are interested in the same thing.
Yeah.
So Macduff, me, and Dre actually came out for the number 3. We were kind of like, yeah, you guys have to come, and that was the first ever DarkFest. Then we moved again back to Stellenbosch because then we met another guy who was like, I've got a farm too, you guys can build on. And we went there and it was the DarkFest farm. We were like, wow, this is incredible. Like the undulations on the hill that we could make hips and step ups and everything out of, and just the view there was amazing. And that was 6 years ago, I think, 5 years ago.
That's where you're at now.
And that's where we're at now. It's grown every year. Like, well, for me, it's kind of like when you see your kid growing up every day, you don't really notice it. But then if someone's like, wow, he's so big now, you're like, oh, really? Like, I haven't noticed. It's the same then. Same with DarkFest. Everyone's like, wow, it's so big now. It's been like just incremental sort of a few more riders each year, a few more media output each year, a few more views each year. So kind of, but then I watch back just for fun, the original first build videos and stuff like that. And it was totally different, actually. It is now seems to be way cooler, hopefully.
It's
And
the unknown back then, wasn't it? And like,
Yeah.
what were you?
Yeah, it's like creating the whole thing. Like
Yeah.
that.
well, jumps didn't really exist like that, did it?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You flipped one this year that you guineaed before and broke your wrist.
Yeah, that jump always has. Doesn't matter, even though the jump's totally different. It's still just that spot, and
Yeah.
it's in your head. I'm sure you've had crashes around as well, where you're like, it's a berm or something. You've had a big crash on. You just don't hit that berm the same ever again, do you?
Dude, definitely. And seemingly 4 years between, they've got so unbelievably dialed. I feel like you must have changed things just incrementally. Because like with dirt jumps, I always feel like you can make anything work. Even the crappiest jump, you can make it work if you just keep digging,
Yeah.
keep changing little bits, and then you end up
Yeah.
with something that works. It doesn't. There's no I don't think there's necessarily a blueprint. Personally, I think you
No,
can make
never.
stuff work differently.
Yeah, it's not FMX, is it? Where you've just got a standardized ramp.
Yeah.
That'd be boring, wouldn't it? It's cool
Yeah.
that every jump's different. They're not always straight. They're not always a step up. Like they're always a bit. Some are kicky than others. Like it's kind of the fun of it, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Do you have a book? How do you note down numbers? Like, is there theory behind it or not?
We do have a book, yeah, that's got it's actually Sea-Dog has the book. Clemens Caldela, he builds DarkFest with me and Audi 9s and everything. He's kind of the main mastermind builder. We always talk about stuff. I'd say I normally have like the vision of something, and then he has the realistic way of making it. Yeah. And then we kind of always talk about the numbers together. Like, even for example, the 110, like
break down the
just
110.
Literally built it because it's a totally new roll in. Because like the plan was always like, right, we've got the 90 there. We've done all the work into that. We've done all the dangerous testing. We know the speed into that. Let's make a 110 next to it. And it doesn't sound much bigger, does it? Like 20 foot. Like it's I guess,
Yeah.
just under 20% or just over 20%
Yeah.
bigger. But it's completely different rolling, like running. So actually,
Yeah.
we had no idea how fast it was. It's only looking at the hill. It does come from the same place, but we just thought we'd make it straighter. We'd give you a big pump lump to pump, and it should be about there.
Do you
And
speed gun in? Is there a
that's-
difference
that
in
was the
speed?
plan. The plan was to jump the 90 a few times with like a roadie speed
Yeah.
thing on my bike, and then we could just check the top speed and assume that that was where we're hitting the lip, like just into it. Then do a run into the 110, not brake, kind of shoot past it, and then see at least if we're in the right ballpark.
Yeah. 5 miles an hour less.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like you never know, do you? Because you can just feel the wind of how fast maybe you're going.
I have no idea how you.
That is the
judge
gnarliest
speed.
thing that you don't know.
That
So
was the
someone's
biggest thing
just
we were
gotta
worried
do it.
about. Yeah, it's a totally different run-in down a mellower but longer hill. So we were like, is that going to give you less speed? Hopefully not. So we just wanted to test it to just see if you weren't going 5 mile an hour slower, like you said, and hopefully you're going 5 mile an hour faster, and it would be about right. And that was the plan to do that the next morning. But we were on just the first session up there, and we heard on the radios, BMB and Isted are doing rock, paper, scissors of who gets to hit the 110 first. Quick, someone with the camera get there. So we were like, all the other riders obviously ran up just to go and watch, and we hadn't even stopped walking, and Isted was going as fast as he could in, pulling as hard as he could, and he couldn't have landed it any more perfect. So we were like, obviously big time relieved, because we're building this 110-foot jump, like possibly one of the biggest dirt jumps ever made, if not the biggest. Like, we definitely feel responsible if someone's going to slap into the back of it, kind of. And if it's not one of us, we'd feel super responsible, kind of.
It looks like a proper jump as well. It doesn't look like a long jump.
Like,
That's
so
what I like
high,
about it.
yeah.
It's actually
a
like
step down, because that's just how the hill
yeah.
goes. And over 110 feet, that's a big drop, isn't it?
How big's the step down? Do you know?
It's like the top is about level, actually.
Right.
But the takeoff's probably 10 feet tall, and the landing's like 20 feet, but then goes 30 feet sort of down on the landing. So
Yeah.
actually, if you went from the top of the lip to the bottom of the landing, you'd be stepping down like 30 feet or something like that. It was like a ski jump. That made it feel extra big when you were up in the air,
Yeah, I
because it
bet.
made you go so high. But yeah, back to the original question. It's kind of like between us, we kind of just get it right these days. Cedar's got that whole book of every angle, every height, every length of every jump we've made in the last like 5 years of every DarkFest, every Audi 9s. The only thing missing is the speed into every jump, and then we'd have like a pretty decent formula, actually.
Yeah.
We've had quite a lot of people writing to us as well from universities, like, hey, I've got this algorithm I think we could try out, like that.
Yeah, go up for
Yeah,
trying it out, please.
We kind of like, it always happens in the build up to DarkFest. I'm always too busy to like
Yeah.
go and start trying to do testing and get the speed to every jump, but that's definitely something interesting. I haven't pursued it too much because, as we all know, if you pull back or you squash off a jump or pump,
There are a lot of variables.
you can vary your jump by
There's so many variables, isn't there?
so much.
High
Yeah.
pressure.
Vinny, for
suspension setup,
example,
everything.
when she sort of came short on the 90 and broke a collarbone, she was going exactly the same speed as, I think, Robin or Vero, whoever she was following, who cleared it perfect, but then she was coming up short just because she didn't do something
Right.
the
So
same.
you
like-
can follow someone down a track and they can make a mistake in front of you, and you can be in the air. So in theory, there's nothing you can do. You're already in the air, and because you see them case, you won't case. And it's happened like that's happened so many times. I've noticed it at bike parks. It's like, whoa, that's like the bit that ChatGPT or whatever university can't quite like work.
Yeah.
I feel like they won't.
the feel. Like, even if you're coming off the top of the lip, most of the time like, oh, it's a bit slow. You give it a little pop, don't you? Or you go and you're like, this is just too fast. You
Just nudge it
race
over a
tempo or
little bit
something.
more.
Yeah, exactly.
So the 120, what angles are we talking? Do you have them off the top of your head or not? Is that too annoying?
29 degrees takeoff.
Is it? Yeah, 29.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because the 90 was 30 degrees. So we're like, let's just make it really similar because we know that works. But because it's a bit taller, maybe we'll just chill it out a little bit. And then we just made it, and looked really good. It was 29, so we're like, that's that.
How do you get that angle? Like, how do you see it?
iPhone.
We actually just put the
Literally
iPhone on the top, like it's got a level. We check it with a few of them to make sure it's right. We do actually have a proper tool, a proper accurate one, but it's actually the iPhone.
Is that a protractor? Is that a protractor?
I guess it might be, yeah.
I can just imagine just like the little half moon, and you just like,
line.
that's about right.
You're right, yeah. It's well
No, it's an electric one. You
is it? Yeah.
you held it flat, it knows where gravity is, and then you turn it, put it on the lip, and it gives you like 29 degrees.
Wow, there you go.
Because
eh?
looks can be deceiving, especially on a hill like that, we always measure everything off a flat because, yeah, if it's on a downhill or something,
Okay.
then you'd measure it differently, wouldn't you?
I guess. Yeah, I'm not very good at that stuff with numbers and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just been our sort of.
Just be like, it's about right.
We just thought like we're getting old now. We need to put a bit of science into it.
Yeah.
Like, we're not stupid.
Yeah.
We don't just give it a go anymore.
No.
The jumps are too big to just give a go. Like they really have to work. We've learned our lesson from what I have anyway, from just giving it a go,
Stuff,
and having a swan-shaped arm.
Where did McDuff get hurt then? Was that
That was his loop.
yeah? Was that
That was actually at the Pure
was a
Darkness 3. Yeah, he stayed on after that.
okay?
Used the rolling tower to
That's
make
right. That's what I was trying to figure out if that was there or not.
is there, yeah. But sadly, it got struck by lightning and got burnt down. So
I didn't really.
it's just like a bowl shape now. It's still there. The running tower's still there. The 72 foot tall rolling tower. Yeah, that was ridiculous. That's things when you look back on like.
Were you out there for that?
Wow,
Or
who-
did you come home already? Did you see?
No,
Max
because we'd
crash?
been there for 6 weeks
Okay.
doing the Pure Darkness 3,
Right.
making that rolling stuff, and then he just stayed on, made his big old loop, and then flew out
Holy.
the side of it.
Yeah. Wow.
You know it's gnarly when you're scared to like go down the rolling tower, isn't it? Like I
Oh,
was,
yeah, it was mental,
It was-
completely mental.
yeah, unbelievable, unbelievable.
Macduff used to do. We used to wake up like quite early morning there, because again it was quite windy, so you'd have to be up at 6, riding at 7. Before it got too hot and too windy, we'd always get up at 6 every day, and he'd be doing naked yoga on top of the rolling tower, 70 feet in the air on his own. We'd just have breakfast and watch him up there doing his moves. He's have you seen him lately? He's building a full big air compound out at his new ranch.
I
in
want to hear
Cameron.
more about it. It
I
looks
want to hear more
mental.
about it too.
Yeah.
He said he's going to start doing some videos and stuff.
That
He's
ramp
building a studio too, podcast studio.
is he good?
Yeah, he's building
Is
a
he?
podcast
Yeah,
studio.
nice.
Yeah.
Building everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's getting involved.
The ramp looks crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah, massive. He said he tried to base everything off of DarkFest. He says he's got like
Wow.
a 90-foot lip that he can practice like 90-foot stuff off, and then a big rocket lip as well that he can just practice his tricks off of that. That's quite cool. It's like the first person really going into a big air training
Yeah.
compound.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he loves big air.
Like
Yeah,
sciencing it out is, crazy.
It is.
Yeah, it's
I
quite
find it-
nitro circus.
I find it mad the whole going back to feeling thing. Like we measured all of the dirt jumps and they were all the same degree. We'd never touched. You know, at John
Really?
Pound.
Are
Yeah.
they? What,
We
they're
measured
about
them at
60?
all exactly, like 60 something,
Yeah, all just end up
62,
60,
63.
Quite good.
It just
isn't it?
works.
Yeah, but you've done that with your
Oh.
without measuring.
Okay.
Like that's mad. That is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that is about right, isn't it? 62 seems to be like
Yeah.
the perfect takeoff angle for most things, actually. On the big ones, we do Audi 9s are usually 60, like the big wooden ones.
Are they? Yeah.
The kind of big trick jumps, because they're always a bit longer, so the short dirt jumps need to be a bit steeper, don't they? But
Yeah.
60 is our kind of go-to standard slope-style crankworks trick jump, I think. Any steeper, like, you start to get a bit crazy. Like the DarkFest step-up's like 70 or it's 69 degrees or something. That's really
Yeah.
steep. And then the rocket's a bit like 58, 59 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
in the 90s, 30. So it's sort of a lot of variation for a different
Yeah,
kind of jump,
massive. Yeah,
depending on what
yeah,
you
yeah.
want from it.
I feel like I'd be intimidated to take on like a slope style course build.
It has to be really perfect, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Like Audi 9s is difficult, right?
That's
Or
actually more stressful.
what is
and
it?
difficult.
9s?
Now it's called the Swatch 9s.
Swatch 9s.
This
Okay.
year, new location actually.
Really?
Bike
Oh,
park
really?
in Green Hill Bike Park. Have you seen that?
Yes.
It looks. Well,
I think I'm going there next
really
week.
good. You're going there next
I
week?
think so. Yeah.
Oh, wicked. Yeah, I wanted to ride there. We went in the winter to go check it out, and it's closed.
It looks
like
unreal, doesn't it?
really good. Looks like those guys who run it are super cool. They're like super down for all the rad stuff, and they're really good at building too. You know, you can see a track on the first time you go up a bike park, you can look at the tracks, and you're either like,
Hey, 100%.
or you're like, wow,
Yeah.
that looks really sick. And just from there, from every single thing I saw was like, that looks wicked. Like that looks really good. These guys
Yeah.
know what they're doing.
Okay.
It's
Where
not
is it?
easy,
Green,
is
in
it?
Germany.
Yeah, Germany. Yeah, it's just
okay.
near
Really
Evans.
close
Yeah.
to
Ah.
Windhill.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Actually, yeah, we drove past not
Winterberg.
Winterberg, sorry, yeah.
Winterberg's sort of the Wind Hill of
It
Germany.
is exactly the Windhill of Germany. Yeah. Some nice berms, some nice jumps.
Right, so I went to Woody's the other day. I wanted to ask you this about DarkFest, actually. That's
Mhm.
right, I'm relating Woody's Bike Park in Bodmin to DarkFest. Anyway, right, so Woody's is like in a field. It's like manufactured like synthetic mountain bike. It's amazing. Like, my first time the other day, I went with Jono.
Is Jasper Flashman doing?
Joel. Yeah, Jasper Flashman did the building there, who's actually linked to Fest, isn't he? He rode Loose before.
Loose Fest back in the day. Yeah, he's one of the...
But that place was unreal. But one of the things that stood out to me that was really unreal about it was the uplift. Like, you didn't have enough time to like lose hype. So it's like your heart rate barely goes down. You get to the bottom, you're all like...
That's good, isn't
talking to each other. You get back to the top, and then you're straight back in, and it just means we were just lapping and loving it. Like, especially with that crew.
Is it like a little vehicle?
Yeah, it's just a trailer and a transit, and it's really quick. But so compare that to another bike park. I'm aware that both of these aren't like, they don't have high consequence, so that's removed. But another bike park, you might sit for ages, and it fully takes the wind out of my sails for me. And like,
hard to get started again if you've got like a half-hour uplift. And
I feel like Backflip Wales does that a little bit.
It can do, can't it? But
a little bit.
Like with DarkFest, it's so important. Like the fact that you like session things means you can stay on like a high. I don't know what the science is, whether it's a heart rate thing, whether it's a adrenaline spike.
I think it's an adrenaline thing, though.
Is it?
It?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know exactly what you mean and what you're getting at. Because that was when I say that the 90 flip wasn't quite there, the opportunity wasn't there. It's because of that. You can only do a few days at that adrenaline level. Yeah. It's like you never do one run where you're not like checking your bike for cracks, making sure every bolt's tight, because you just know what can happen. Like, and you drop in, like, you really have to concentrate. You don't do like cruisy laps there. Yeah. So the adrenaline's so high, your concentration's so high. So if you stop for 10 minutes to have a drink, or even on the lift back up again is 10, 15 minutes by the time you wait for everyone to load up, get to the top. Once you're at the bottom, you're like, okay, next run I'm going to do it. But when you get back to the top again, you kind of like,
So it is adrenaline. You think it is adrenaline? I think it is. Or hype, or something mentally that's...
Yeah, or just... Because it's not like your body gets cold, is it? You're still warm. I guess that slightly happens, but you're just on a bit of like a come down from the last run. You have to like kind of get it back going again to get into that, like, the special meter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some guys, incredible at that, like Isted and especially BMV. He can just do whenever he wants, whatever he wants. Like, he doesn't have to warm up to it. He can actually do second run of the day, his best run of the week, kind of like.
That's mad, isn't it?
I think that's like comp days and just being so confident in yourself as well, isn't it? That's what I always used to hate about comps, especially like Crankworks. It could be an hour since you did your last run. Yeah. So you do like runs for hours, practicing all the stuff, and then the helicopter comes, the TV comes on. You have to sit there for a whole hour watching other people do runs, watch TV commercials come on, and then you have to get on your bike and you need to stretch again because you're like, oh, I can barely. When you get on the bike, you like run. Literally, I always remember going into the top of Crankworks, like, I can't even go off this drop because I'm so like just not ready to ride. I've been sat down for 1 hour, and the adrenaline like comes down. Rampage is like that completely as well. Yeah,
just like sucks the fun out of it. Sat up there, just
I personally rely on hype. I know that any good riding I'm going to do is only going to be when I'm hyped.
Yeah,
whether that is adrenaline or whether that's like a mental thing. Like, also watching DarkFest, it's easy to sit and just go, oh well, they're crazy, but actually it's probably the most opposite of crazy. It's the most calculated. Like, it's when riders are the most focused. Even the crazy riders are it's when they're the most focused on jumps like that, would you say?
Yes, but there's definitely crazy guys there. Yeah, there's definitely some calculated guys, older ones mainly. I guess myself, Sea-Dog, will absolutely work up to everything. Yeah, have like a plan, like a run plan almost. Like, right, I'm gonna do this, then that, then that, then that. Yeah, and then some guys like Hodgson is just completely nuts. He flipped the 110 second go.
So what is that crazy though? What is that crazy?
I don't know. I think just the confidence. Oh, he just treats it like a foam pit. Like, he'd just be like, oh yeah, I just don't know if he's not afraid of being hurt or doesn't care or just loves the excitement that hard. I think he just like, and they get into like little bets and stuff. Like the rock, paper, scissors between BMV and Tom. I was like, mad. So did you win rock, paper, scissors? Or did you lose rock, paper, scissors? Did you have to hit it first? Or did you get to hit it first?
That's true.
And he was like, no, I won. So I got to be the first one to hit it. And I was like,
Whoa.
wow, sick. Like,
You're crazy.
I'd probably do it the other way around. And I know me and Sea-Dog have actually done it in the past. Like, right, let's rock, paper, scissors. Whoever loses has to try it first. Because then you like get a bit of, like you said, hype.
Yeah.
The excitement of maybe I'm going to lose. Then you lose. You're like, oh no. And then you have to go for it. And you kind of don't think about it. But yeah, that's just an example of those guys being nuts.
See, I think towards the end of a trip, I'm more likely to do like I will not do something at the start of a trip
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of
because
that
I've got
too.
5 more days and 5 more days with say a filmer or like 5 more days where I've got to do stuff, and then at the end of the 5 days, I'm more likely to take a bigger risk.
Okay.
But is that crazy or is that like?
No, I'm the
That's
same.
calculated crazy.
I'd like to work it out.
Yeah.
And those boys, yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's they don't care or they don't think at all, or if they're just in the moment. And I think he's just completely that in the moment.
Yeah. That's pretty
They
cool.
were like, should we flip it? Yeah, let's flip it. Like, let's do it. And
Just frothing for it.
yeah, and they just did it. And I don't know, I don't think like that anymore. Maybe I did back in the day. And these guys are just that next level, the next generation of crazy on bigger jumps. But I don't know.
They're building on what's happened before, aren't they? So it's like they're going to be. I mean, some of the head cameras, they literally make my hairs on my neck stand
That's
up.
so
Just
gnarly.
the hype and the like.
Yeah, that's the best thing about it.
It is, isn't
such
it?
a crew. I kind of think every year, like, when's another event going to come up like it? And there's been a few similar ones,
Yeah.
but they're just missing that, like, or in terms of being there for the week. I don't know if it comes through in the videos of the headcams and stuff. Maybe it does, like you said, but just the hype of that crew, like, everyone can completely be their self. We kind of, we do selectively invite people
I was just going to ask how
to
you
do with
get
how they are as
the
a person
crew,
too.
yeah.
We obviously look how good someone's going to be, how cool someone wants to ride the event, how much they want to come as well is super important, because we don't want people there that are just like, oh yeah, I'm just coming because it's good for the sponsor or whatever. Like, we want people to come who really want to try and who really want to be there and are stoked. So when you're there, there's no one there that isn't mates. I've never invited someone I've never met.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what, like, a lot of people write to me. I'm like, sorry, it's just the rule. If I've never ridden with you and hung out with you, then I can't. But let's try in the future. So I always say to them, let's hopefully we can meet up and then we can see, because there's loads of good riders that want to try and see what they do. But it is like a high pressure situation. Everyone can get annoying if you're that close to each other and like tensions are that high. But
Yeah.
here everyone can completely be themselves. It's such like a selected crew that's built over the years, and obviously we invite people who are recommended as well. Like, oh, have you ever ridden with this guy? Yeah, I think he'd be really fun to do this, or she'd be awesome to do that. Like Harriet, for example, I knew who she was from Crankworks and stuff, Speed and Style.
Yeah.
But then rode with her at Dream Track on those big jumps in New Zealand with Robin. We were doing a video for Kenda, and Harriet also rides for Kenda. So we were just like, oh, why doesn't she come? She lives here too, and she likes jumps. And she was just so fun. And like her and Robin were just riding. You can tell like some people ride together and they just hype each other up so much, and they were just perfect. So I was like, oh, you have to come. Like, invited her on the spot. Like, I don't know if we've got a bed for you. You might have to stay on a sofa, but let's just make it happen.
Yeah.
She was an awesome addition as well, just because all the girls as well hype each other up, and you can totally be yourself. Like, everyone's so stupid in the evenings. Like, I don't know if you've seen everyone gets their hair cut bald.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Dyed stupid.
What are you rocking with under the hat? What's going
I've
on?
actually dyed it back because I'm back. I've cut it off. I'm back to reality. I had long blonde, like ridiculous hair. Got it back. I just couldn't drop Freddie off at nursery with hair that bad, so I got it changed. And it's like a different place. Like, out there, everyone's got stupid hair. You're at the top. It's like a team building thing. Like, you're at the top. You're nervous. Like, oh, I want to flip the big jump or whatever. Look around, Cade's there with a stupid fryer tuck. It's called the tyre fryer. It's like a fryer tuck, but it's a bike wheel on his head. And Adolf with pink horns and a green nutty professor around the back. You're just like, yeah, sick. Let's do it. What's the worst that can happen? Like, we're all so stupid. And that's like such an important part of it. It's not just riding jumps, because there's lots of events where you ride jumps. It's just the crazy family. And then everyone goes home and everyone talks on the group like how you have a after DarkFest depression for a few weeks.
Really,
Like,
yeah.
Bet, like a
nothing can
hangover.
you have like a huge, fairly real hangover actually, to be honest. But like just a fun hangover of like waking up every morning, hanging out, like someone's doing something funny or someone's doing something stupid. Someone's got the speaker on as loud as
Naked
it will
yoga
go,
or
eating breakfast or just dancing on the car or something, and then you go and watch the best riding for a whole week. Biggest party ever, and then you kind of go home, and you're like, oh,
That's being
back
reality.
to complete reality.
It's well
You have to
weird.
cut
There's
your
something
hair
with
back to
risk,
normal.
isn't there? Or consequence. There's something with it. If you hang out a bit in it and your life's real simple and it's all based around this like small amount, this like risk that you're like thinking about the whole time.
Everyone's in it together.
Yeah, you're all in it together and you get back and you're just sort of like, that stuff can feel a bit mundane, I imagine, after DarkFest.
So you go out together. You all risk everything with everyone, and you know everyone else is also trying their hardest.
Yeah.
Everyone else is scared like you're scared, and everyone else is as excited as you're excited at the bottom. You kind of you make a real special bond with all those people, because you can't bond like that with people that quickly.
It's almost militant, isn't it? It's almost like what people talk about when they come out of the military.
Yeah.
You got this like regimented.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You're with your crew all the time. So many shared experiences.
I imagine that's the next level of it. But yeah, there must be something quite similar.
Yeah.
innit?
And
A
you come back and
unified
it's just like,
goal.
oh.
Danger. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Achieving something together, finishing, and then going home.
Yeah. Speaking of danger, let's go to a quick ad break because Dougie's signalling. Quick click.
It's time for an ad. Works are back with the Hydra shot.
Mate. Back and better than ever.
Better than ever before. Twice as powerful, dude. Have you got some specs?
Mate, I got some specs for you. All right, the Works Hydra Shot is back. It's double the power. And the new Works Nitro High Flow Hydra Shot is efficient and versatile for thorough cleaning with an ultra compact body and upgraded performance up to 56 bar for removing tough dirt. Works built brushless 2.0 motor and negative charge pump generate pressure up to 56 bars and 220 litres of water flow. All right. Engineered IPX5 waterproof battery case provides extra safety and convenient in use. At only 1.5 kilogram, Works Nitro Hydra Shot is one of the most lightweight and compact power cleaners in the world in its class. All right. Spray patterns, 0 degrees. No, I can never do that. What is it? Is that a degree?
Is it degrees? Yeah, it's degrees, yeah.
Yeah, I never know what
It's
that
got
means.
0 degrees. It's got
0
15 degrees as well. It's got 25 degrees.
Or 40 degrees, mate. Whatever you want.
There you go.
All right, with high, low pressure setting of 38 bar or 25 bars. I mean, you can turn it down a little bit if you want. If it's too much, you can turn it down a little bit. Okay, the best thing about Works Hydra Shot is you can draw water from any source. So if there's a river, a bucket, whatever, you can dip the end of that nozzle in, pull water up, and you can clean your bike, your boat, your family member, whatever you want to clean, you can clean it from any water source.
Put simply, this is the pressure washer you want in the back of your van at the end of a long, muddy UK winter ride.
For sure, mate. It makes life way easier. And the best thing about everything that we've already spoken about, Works have come to us with an offer code for the companionship, you know, and that's first. We've never had an offer code off them before. So many people used to hit us up.
Well, it's already a gift just knowing about it.
Yeah,
you know
it
what I
is,
mean?
man. Yeah, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah,
this
it
one.
absolutely is. What's the offer code,
All right,
dude? And what do you get?
Okay, you're going to head to ukworks.com, enter the code The Ride Companion.
Okay, let me just get that straight.
Yep.
First of all, is it capitals?
It is capitals.
Okay, and it's The Ride Companion, no spaces.
No spaces, The Ride
All right,
Companion.
all right.
And that's going to get you 15% off, not just the Hydra Shot. Maybe you want a drill, lawnmower, whatever. You can find it on uk.works.com. Enter that code, 15% off anything and everything on site.
That's useful as well.
Yep.
Because of the power share system. You can swap the batteries over.
Yeah, you can.
Whether you want an impact driver, like you say, a chainsaw, maybe,
chainsaw,
a strimmer.
lawnmower.
You can just plug them straight in, share them between products. Fantastic. Works. Round of applause for Works. Should we do a round of applause?
Yeah, thanks,
Let's do
Works.
And we're back. What an amazing ad break.
Another
that
Good
was.
product.
Yeah, really good product.
Yeah, I definitely like that myself.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
best
good.
again, mate. Best
Thanks,
ads. We do the best ads.
Right, I'm looking at my notes because I have notes because I'm professional. You all right, mate?
Yeah, speaking
Yeah.
of professional.
Yeah. I'm really professional now. Like,
We all are.
Yeah, we're so professional. You coughed away from the microphone.
Yep.
That was good.
Yeah.
I've got here, is there a limit? I think it's a good point.
Of biking.
DarkFest specifically. I'm sorry we're just talking to you like you're just a DarkFest human.
Answering questions.
But it's like, but it's like a current thing, isn't it? And
Yeah.
obviously-
And a lot of effort went into it. I'm very stoked on it.
So where does
have
it
to
where
answer
does it stop? If it happens, if DarkFest continued every year for 10 more years, what would change? Like already you've only just had a 120-foot jump, and already there's a 120-foot backflip. Like, where does it go? Is there a limit? kind of for everything, but specifically, let's talk about DarkFest because it's easier
Well,
to.
it must be close to the limit, I guess. But when we first built that 90, we were jumping it like, this is the biggest, most dangerous jump ever. How can you be bigger than that? And now we've had the 110, and it actually is weirdly safer than the 90. So it's kind of not really to do with well, it is more dangerous, but I don't know. That was 5 years ago, and then things have moved on. The 90 is now easy.
So what
Not
defines
enough.
the limit? Is it just like perception
So
based?
in 5 more years, is the 110 not going to be big enough? Who knows? I don't really know. But the tricks are definitely coming along. That's like a big progression. And actually kind of the coolest progression for me, apart from the 110 this year, which was the best thing ever, was the girls. Like Robin's flipping the step up. Like I would never have thought a few years ago a girl would come and flip that step up. Like 4 or 5 years ago, that was a big flip on the step up, was like a big thing of the event. Like I'd be really hyped with that. Pushing the limits of free ride, and now girls are doing that too, and doing nothings and 2-foot can one handers and Superman seat grabs on, and doing full course top to bottoms. That's like, to me, the most exciting thing of the next few years is going to be the girls, and then obviously the boys are doing more nut stuff. But I don't know, the girls are, I don't know, really exciting to me.
I feel like that's like two different ways of the sport progressing. You've got like one sport is like you've got girls getting involved. The other side of the sport though is like you said, like where does this keep going? Because I think some sports, we use freestyle motocross as an example, have kind of hit this thing, this like plateau where it's just not exciting anymore. Because it's just the same stuff.
I think that FMX
every now and again there's like one thing that's just like so ridiculous, like a triple backflip or whatever they've done on a motocross bike.
But it kind of I don't know, it means less now, doesn't it? It's like airbags and
exactly.
I don't know. I'm not taking anything away. The triple flips recently were unbelievable, but I know what you mean. It's plateaued.
Yeah,
and I think it's just because there's only a certain amount you can do with it.
I agree.
And hopefully that's not the case with mountain biking. I think we've got much better environments. We can make much more jumps. Well, I think the coolest thing in FMX that's happened lately is Tyler Berman's event. Do you remember what that one's called?
Is it Imagine?
Something along those lines. That's super cool, because that's kind of, he openly says like, I take a lot of inspiration from the mountain bike courses because they're building the cool stuff and we're just making straight jumps with metal takeoffs, all the same gaps, just in different places around the world. So I'd love to see more of that in FMX, because like FMX was the coolest to me growing up. Like that's totally. A lot of inspiration,
especially that era. Like obviously when we probably both loved it, where it's like always new shit happening, new progression, new tricks, new people, and then now it just seems to be a bit like, and I don't know if that's also action sports in general.
The world's changed, doesn't
it?
Kind of being gnarly is not good anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of died to death a little bit, like X Games and stuff. It's not really
a
thing.
It's a bit toxic almost.
You think?
These days, yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, maybe it is.
It's definitely different, isn't it? You don't see guys with massive punk rock.
No. Mate,
that's sad. Yeah.
I guess you're doing in your world.
Haircuts and tattoos.
Yeah,
actually,
you do in your world. Yeah. You do in your world, but not everyone.
But it's different. We're not like breaking stuff. Not like, I don't know. It's different.
Yeah. What is, like, to you? What is DarkFest? Like, what is it? Is it a content creation thing? Like, what do you? If you're like pitching it to an athlete, all right, you can come along. What is it that you are?
It's changed, because to start with, it was, like I said, an experiment to see how big I could push jumps and make them, and what I could do on them, from a kind of not selfish way, but just to kind of.
There we go.
Yeah, just experimenting and trying to push the sport forwards. But now it's still the same. I want to see what the sport can do, but it's more of a platform for these new guys and even the girls now.
Yeah.
And just having that happen is enough for me now. But still also getting to push my own limits, doing like the flip like we talked about earlier, it's still enough for me now. I'm not doing like the absolute highlight reel of the event, but I can, as long as I can still be there, do something new myself, still progress myself, I'm stoked from that side, from a personal side. And now I just want to show what can be done for everyone else and help a lot of people too, because I'm very lucky to have had a nice career so far in mountain biking, and a lot of guys don't really fit into a category. Like they're not winning Crankworks, they're not winning Rampage, they're not necessarily a YouTube guy, or like they don't really know how to promote themselves, or just don't want them to, but they're so talented and so dedicated in a way that I think they deserve to be sponsored as much, if not more, than a lot of these other guys. So a few of the guys only do maybe like a DarkFest or Audi 9s, and to be helping some guys out that I think deserve it is also a really, really good motivation and something cool for me as well. And that's why we have so many people. We have guys there literally paid to hold an iPhone to make the iPhone clips, because you want to ride, don't you? But that's all, Instagram is actually where most of our views come from these days, and one of our biggest pushes. So if we can help people, if I can help guys make value for their sponsors, that's definitely a big part of it for me as well, along with trying to make the world's biggest jump. And the fact that I rode it as well. I was, I think, the fourth guy to hit it. That was like that. I love doing that. So there's still like definitely some personal goals there for me, which I love doing. But yeah, and then to give Isted the platform to.
He's a good example. Really, like, so he didn't even have a bike sponsor going into that event. Yeah, I'm sure he's got something happening now.
Yeah, he's had a few offers. Which is quite cool. I think he can announce that soon, maybe when he gets to Crankworks. But yeah, just he's almost one of the examples that I'm talking about, and to give him a platform that now he can get a bike sponsor from that. That's an amazing thing for the event, which like it doesn't need to do anything, the event really these days, but anything that happens from it is kind of just a bonus, and that's another awesome bonus. If guys can be like, oh, I won best whip at DarkFest, then get a bonus from it from their sponsors along with a bit of the prize money as well. Then
so you do that, sorry if I missed that, we have events within it, sort of like rider judged events.
10,000, we have 5,000 euros for the boys and 5,000 for the girls.
Oh, sick.
And we sort of judge it. Each one is best whip, best trick, best like ruler of the week, almost just the king or queen of darkness. And then we just have one that's like the moment of the week, like a random, just the best moment, because there's always someone who doesn't quite win each event but maybe deserves something. So we kind of we all vote on it, and everyone usually votes pretty unanimously. Like it always presents itself at the moment. This year was Tom and Hodgie doing a flip train, so we like split it between them both.
Right. It's interesting though to think about what it actually is, the event, and how it's becoming, like you said, like a.
On the girls' one was Robin's first top to bottom run.
Mad.
Yeah, but that's an awesome, really good thing as well, that I love, to be able to give a prize money to these guys that like we actually give more prize money than going and if you got first in like speed and style at Crankworks, you win the same amount. Like it's kind of we actually have. We got €1,000 for best haircut as well. just to poke the fire a little bit for everyone.
Do you think your vision for like where free? What should we call? What do you call it? Big air free?
I like to call it big air.
Big air.
It's not really free. It's like its own thing, isn't it? And it's its own specialty riders that are good at it.
Yeah. Do you think your vision of that is aligned with a lot of other riders? Because I don't really want to get into the weeds of it. It's not fair, but like there was obviously the Fest beef, whatever we call it. They obviously want to go in one direction, it seems like, and you seem to want to go in another direction. Is that fair, or is that
No, that's completely fair. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, we both like similar things, like making the big jumps and riding it. Just they want to do it with their friends and just not show it off.
Do it, yeah.
I think if that much effort goes into it, and the other riders can create value for their sponsors and do well for them and potentially their families or whatever and their future, then I see no problem in that, and I like to help everyone do that and do it for myself as well.
Yeah, I kind of like, I don't know about you, but I struggle to see the other side of that argument for what Sam, like doing it all on your own. I think it's great. Obviously, it's cool. There's definitely that vibe to it of like just keeping it to yourself and building jumps and just doing it for the sake of doing it. But also from a
big jumps are expensive to build.
Brand perspective, sponsorship perspective.
But also, like, what is it if it's not like I was thinking about that when you said what DarkFest is. What is it if you don't have an event? You don't get a chance to ride jumps that big. If you did, it would mean you'd have to have a scene based around riding jumps that big. If you rode jumps like that big all the time, what would happen?
Yeah, you can't actually. It's like a week only, and once you finish, you've had enough of big jumps for a while. Yeah. It's like too much of an undertaking. Yeah. It is a special event. You bring yourself up to that event, to that level, and you can't sustain it for longer than a week.
That's such consequence, isn't it? So everything you do really matters. You can't have it so that's like every day you go riding, you're not like waking up like, oh, what should we do today? Let's go do the 120. Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't like that.
McDuff's going to be living like that,
He's going to be like,
if you're doing something that people are interested in, why not show them as much as you can?
Yeah, for sure.
I'd agree.
I agree with you totally. Like, and obviously it's becoming a. Do you think there'll be will you do more? Like you said, there's like you can only do it once or twice a year.
Kind of.
Can you
now
see
with
there
a
being
family at home? It's a lot more difficult. 'Cause
But now
I
there's
do-
not a fest. Is there still a fest series? I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you if fest series is still a thing. Multiple stops.
I think they have.
Could
a
you not
couple
do
of
a
rounds
DarkFest,
potentially?
South Africa, New Zealand? I don't know.
There's a few guys talking about it, like
Yeah.
maybe a series. Yeah, I think McDuff definitely wants to do something
Okay.
at his.
Yeah.
I think Hodgie and Vera have been building some big secret jumps in Wales actually, and I think they're going to talk to some other guys about making a big event there. So maybe there could be in the future like a bit of a big air series almost.
Seems to me that is the way that it should lean, right?
I
Surely.
think so.
It
yeah,
seems
'cause
to be.
it doesn't work for a contest because you need the weather conditions to be so perfect.
Yeah.
It's not like Crankworks where you can kind of get away with it a bit in the wind. Like it's too dangerous to ride in the wind. So I think it's not a contest format. It's a week long go along. You film the stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe open it up to the public like we do at DarkFest every year, so
Okay.
that just so the locals can come and see some of their favourite riders and take pictures with them and hang out with them and talk with them. But mainly it's a media thing, isn't it?
Yeah, a media event.
And just sort of to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a movie.
Guess big wave surfing's done over like a period of time,
Yeah.
isn't it? They have like a similar sort of thing, really.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's hard to
Weather
draw
dependent.
a correlation between any other sports who do it that
Yeah.
way. But I'm sure there's some big wave surfing's one, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't think how Behrman's event works. It's like a time limit, and you put together a run, is it? And you have a long
Can't
time.
remember.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I
It's
feel
so
like
funny
that's,
because it's another one of those events where it ultimately doesn't matter. Like what is happening is
People just want to see a few shots, don't
Yeah.
they? Into,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'd want to see a lot more. That's because we don't know how it works. I want to see some videos showing us how it works and seeing the guys what they do. Like I don't know. I don't want to see just the best run. I want to see
just a run.
I
No,
want to see the build up to that run and
Yeah.
what went into it. And
I think
other
even the
people try.
highlights aren't. There's not much. It's like a 30-minute show, but you know it's been on all day. It's like, no, I want to see like the day.
yeah,
I know it's
almost
the
the
whole
riding
thing.
is obviously important, but
Yeah.
actually just what's happening there. You want to feel like you're there and see like how it's
Yeah.
unfolding, don't you?
I think that's part of it, isn't it? Especially when you're trying to build a sport or a scene or big air. Like people want to get to know those people. They want to know, like, for me, I didn't know too much about Tom Isted before that. But then you're like, right, fucking, who's this guy? You want to know where he's come from, how it all works. So
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of our thing with this. It's like telling the stories, like unpeeling that layer a little bit and being able to show who these people are. They're not
Yeah.
just maniacs who just jump
don't
stuff.
get it from a live stream, do you? Yeah,
No, you don't
I
get it
hear
from a
you.
live stream.
I think it's Drive to Survive all over again, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the
Drive to
perfect
Survive.
example, isn't it? It means a lot more. The races are a lot more exciting
Yeah.
if you know the characters
Yeah.
and what's gone into it from their side.
So, what have been your personal highlights this year? Like, I know obviously you've sort of done the prize giving and stuff, but there must be things that like stand out. They don't have to be like big moments. They could be small things that you noticed or something someone did. I always feel like I come away with.
Well, my best moment was Isted jumping the 110 for the first time, just because there's a lot of stress and not sleepless nights, but like I was real concerned that someone's going to get really hurt testing it because it is huge. The consequences are like are just massive. Like if you got it really wrong, and until someone jumps it, you just don't know. So when he hit it, was probably my most excited of the whole week, followed by Robin doing the full top to bottom because I rode with her in New Zealand a bit. She talked about it. She said like how much of a thing that had been since the last year. Like her and almost all the other girls as well had it in the back of their mind. Like this year when they go back, they want to do top to bottom. And she got forced into it because we had to film the GoPro course preview, and she was just up at the top in the right place at the wrong time, maybe.
So, what had she ticked off prior to that?
So she had not hit the 90 before that. She'd done
Wow.
the bottom ones and the step up. But then the 90, the actual most difficult part of the course is the 90 into that twisty wizard, it's called, that shark fin, and then the hip. So she'd not done that before.
Right.
And then we just had the GoPro course preview, and I was like, come on, Robin, let's, there's no time like now. There, she put some GoPros on, and the GoPro guy was at her as well, like, yeah,
Oh,
do you
wow.
want a GoPro on? And she was like, she hates riding with a camera as well, which I know,
wow.
because if she wants to do something scary, she always takes it off or turns it off. And I think I have something similar as well, because you can imagine, we've had a crash with a GoPro on before, and you hit the floor, you're like,
Yeah, it's horrible. Isn't it?
and watching the crash back is always awful, and you relive the moment. I think it might be something to do with that, why she hates having a camera on when she's doing something.
Yeah.
But she was like, okay, yeah, whatever, let's just do it. Let's go. Quick, before I
Like
change
pressure
my mind.
not to
Yeah,
crash the
exactly.
thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then, beat the GoPros on, and I kept looking back off each jump, and she was still there. So
Oh,
the
yes!
excitement was building all the way up, and everyone was watching too. Like everyone was
Oh,
stood like,
wow.
on the step up and kind of didn't know she was coming through, but everyone could see that she was doing the course for the first time. And then, after the step up, you just hook a right and kept going. And that
Left
was my-
hip's the scariest for me.
Yeah, that's the hard.
was the-
that's the most technical.
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
carry
what's
a
the
lot of
hardest?
speed.
What's the hardest feature? And is
Yeah.
it unanimous between everyone that that is the hardest?
It's just
feature?
that shark, the twisty wizard shark fin, and then you have to land that perfectly,
Yeah.
turn right, carry your speed, and then do a massive hip.
Yeah.
It's like a 45 foot, 90-degree hip, and the landing goes straight into a road gap that would be like a big road gap at any bike park, but you have to just land and instantly go off it.
Yeah.
It's so hard as well to not carve a small
just-
hip.
Yeah,
You just
exactly.
carve and you pull out into thin air, sort of. And on
Yeah.
a big one, I think the temptation to just turn a
Do it
tiny bit
short.
to just go to the inner corner is so massive.
Yeah, you have to go dead straight and then just lean
Yeah.
and turn. It's
That must be the
quite
best
difficult.
feeling, dude. Oh my god,
It is the best, yeah.
that must be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, micro level, but they built a new hip at those dirt jumps we rode the other day, and I was just like, oh my god, I forgot how good it is to hit.
Oh, hips are wicked,
Yeah,
yeah.
to play on hips is so fun, especially when they're the right way, because left's the right way for me. I don't like
Yeah,
right.
me too, yeah.
So yeah, oh, the best.
So that's your highlights.
Those are my two favourite standout moments of the week, yeah.
Well, huge congrats for it, because
Yeah,
Trying to
it's
think.
so sick.
Oh, actually, and one of my other funniest moments where I realised, like, actually how much of a cool crew we put together. It wasn't to do with the riding. So, like, Ryan, I don't know if everyone knows Ryan from Monster, me and him try and organise absolutely everything in the week. Even that comes down to, like, getting a huge speaker so that everyone can just have a big party in the evening so they can just plug their stuff into and stuff like that. And we came back late from one of the parties, or we were in a different car or something. We came back, everyone had already made a massive party in the rider's house with like lights and speakers, and we both got back just like, yeah, like, so proud of everyone. Like, yeah, well, they've done it themselves. Like, they've literally gone to get the speaker, they've gone to get everything all together, and just we like realised like at that moment, oh, we've made such a good crew.
Good crew, yeah.
And yeah, that was really cool.
What again, going back to some other sports where they've transitioned from being like a little bit more chilled, let's say, to now being more of like a professional sport. Is there an element of that in big air or free ride, do you think, where people are like, nah, I'm not going to drink tonight. I want to be up in the morning, fresh as a daisy.
I'd like to say so,
But
but
no. Yeah, I don't know, just curious.
Well,
Because we've seen it in downhill, right? It's gone from being like, I'd
Yeah,
say
yeah.
quite chill, and now
No,
it's
you're
like
definitely right. The
everyone's on
first
it.
few years of DarkFest, people would miss sessions from being hungover.
Yeah.
Now everyone, main thing they want to ride.
Yeah.
We have mandatory days off with the party day.
Okay.
So everyone wants to. You get like such a build up of excitement, and you want to blow your beans in the evening and kind of get all that excitement out, don't you?
Yeah.
But kind of you have to do that at some point. So we have like one day we're like, right, Thursday's off. Or it looks windy. We look for like a bad
Party,
weather day.
yeah.
Like, it's raining on Thursday. We'll have a big party on Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. So no
Everyone
pressure.
can sort of. Some guys do like a big mission. They do what they want to do, and then they'll just get blasted that night, and then we won't see them next morning. But that's fine. You don't ride every session,
Yeah.
but there's always a massive crew riding everything, and there's no one that drinks every day and misses every session at
No,
all.
no,
Like
no.
not even close. I think each person missed one session maybe, but just because they rode too much,
Yeah.
they're like, okay, tomorrow morning I have to have I'm going to sit tomorrow out. But I did that like 3 or 4 times, and then you just get up there and it's too good, so you just have to run down, get your pads and join in, because it's too rare. It's only 1 week, and you're like, oh, I'm going to get the absolute max out of it.
And it does seem dialed now. It does seem like top to bottoms are just
Yeah.
like a given now
Yeah,
to all
yeah.
of you. It's
People can do first runs now, top to bottom.
wow, so cool that is.
Well,
Wow.
actually, a
What's-
lot of the guys top to bottom first run on
Yeah.
the morning one.
Wow.
Oh, way. When do you start planning for next year's? And have you got ideas for next year's course? Like, is there anything that you come away from there thinking, "Fuck, I wish we'd
Poor guy,
Done
give him
this.
a minute.
no,
Yeah,
get straight back on it."
Think about it. It really is months go into it. Like before,
Yeah.
all the meetings, having to get sponsors for it, promise them the deliverables, like all the annoying business side of things,
Yeah.
to pay for the
Who
hotels.
helps with that? If you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
who
So,
helps? Is it you? You must have got a bit of a DarkFest crew.
I
team,
kind of
like-
don't. Ryan does all the monster side of things,
Yeah.
and then I do all the other external sponsor side of things, bring it all together. And
Okay.
but just for example, the hotel and the food for such an event, just to put it into perspective, if you're housing, it's probably 30, 40 people in the end by the time there's filmers, riders,
Yeah.
shuttle drivers, all the stuff you don't think about. A person to take water to the top of the course, like it all needs a person, otherwise it just gets forgotten.
Yeah.
It's 50 people by the time that comes. And to house them for 8-9 days, I think it's like 30,000 euros.
Is it?
Just for the hotel and the food alone.
So obviously
before we've dug a single jump.
So you bring sponsors in to help with that, obviously. So
Yeah,
riders
so
don't have to pay to be there or anything like that. They just
no, so
sort
we
of
can
fly
have
out or
prize
something,
money. So
or-
we can have the riders pay their own flights.
Yeah.
We pick them up from the airport, get them shuttled in. Sort of that's the least we can do, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're coming all that way to do all this stuff.
I think people will be interested to know that because, again, you see like what it is. It's just a content creation thing. It's like, okay, how does that athlete get there? Who's paying for things? And how does it all work?
Yeah,
sort
we
of thing.
kind of like, we don't pay anyone an appearance fee. We do have prize money as a nice bonus. We just hope that we can give them the value so that for them and their sponsors, so their sponsors can pay their flight and they can see it worthwhile
And
coming.
the bigger the event gets, the easier it is to do that as well, right?
Yeah,
The
and we have like a
easier.
huge media team so that every night they walk around airdropping photos to everyone. They put it all into folders every night. So someone can go like, oh, there you go, Vero, there's all your best photos of the day.
So
You
sick.
can post those. I've got these clips of you. We do like a reel each day on the Instagram for DarkFest and send everyone their clips. So it's easy for everyone to just get the maximum out of it.
Yeah.
And obviously all that stuff does cost a lot of money.
Yeah, of course,
each guy.
You got an angle of 3 different angles of everything that you do. It's pretty cool, isn't it? If
Yeah.
that's what business you're in, it's like I noticed it from, I guess, a lot of stuff you've just picked up over the years of doing different events, but like doing the 9s, I always found it mad that everything you do, you have 3 angles video,
Yeah.
4 angles photo, or whatever. So
Yeah.
you think you've just done like, you might get hurt and you might have done 5 runs, but then you get this
Got
like
content
massive
Of the most insane
folder
shot.
of yeah.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
It's a lot to put on, isn't it? It's a lot of, good on you.
It is. Yes, it is a proper job. So yeah, for the next year, I'll start planning it. In, I don't know, a few months.
Really? Yeah.
A few months. Yeah, not now.
Is it a bit annoying it's so far away?
No, it's
No,
nice.
it's
Need a
good.
good break from it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's the
Like
best
you
thing
got
ever.
there, that's work, and then
It's the best ever,
come
but
back.
it almost can't be replicated. So it's sort of like good to just be patient and wait for it again next
Okay,
year. You couldn't
right.
have it all the time. It wouldn't be so special.
yeah, that's true. That's true. It'd be awesome to hear like what's next as well for you, like as a career or whatever. What's going on?
A career. Oh, what? Those? Well, I wouldn't say this is part of my career, but
It is. It's an extension.
The
it's an
extension.
extension, just of a fun sort of thing.
Yep.
A few guys do some merch like yourself, and myself and buddy Matt Jones, we decided to make some sunglasses, some riding sports sunglasses. So here they are.
Okay.
It's called Pink Eye. When does the podcast come out?
Probably in a couple of days, hopefully.
A couple of days. Okay, we're not quite launched yet.
Okay.
We've got an Instagram page,
Yeah.
Pink Eye Vision.
Okay.
If you like our first post, we've done one post. We're going to give away a set
I
to
saw a
someone.
photo shoot though. The photo shoot looked.
We've got the glasses. We just need to make a website. So hopefully we'll be launching in about 2 weeks, I think.
Okay. Just in time for summer.
Just in time for summer,
Just
yeah.
in time for summer.
Yeah, Pink Eye. We've got a pink set, a blue set.
Who- okay.
Olly actually did the first drawing design. Of
Whose
the
idea
glasses.
was it? First of all, like I want to know, because these things are weird how they happen, right? It's like this thing happened with a text message, like, "Yo, do you want to just do this podcast and like see what happens?"
Yeah, we actually.
How did it happen? Like, who made the first?
Well, it's because we're writing for IXS. They don't make sunglasses.
Yeah.
And I was like, like writing to a few brands, like wonder who I could get a sunglasses sponsor from, blah, blah, blah. And then sort of just was genuinely just unimpressed
Okay.
with what was out there. And
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of was like, you know what, like I feel like I could make this myself. So kind of did a few 3D, well actually got Ollie to do the first drawing. So I just thought like the lightning bolts on the side would be quite funny and quite sick. So he drew that up. We sent it off to some like manufacturers. They 3D printed a few,
Yeah.
got a few prototypes back, a few different lenses, tried them all out. Matt sort of thought it was quite cool as well. He actually came up with the name Pink Eye, literally because it made us laugh and they were going to be pink.
Have you ever got pink eye?
Yeah. Yeah, and actually
But
Freddie...
it's
Freddie
gnarly,
got one of-
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's rough.
I got it in the field in my first contest at Cash Kai Challenge.
Did you really?
My first ever hangover, and then I fell asleep in a field and got pink eye
There you go.
in Italy, in Bergamo or something.
There you go.
But yeah, Matt didn't have sunglasses sponsor either, so we both
There you go.
what from a laugh we could make pink eye sunglasses. Now I have 800 pairs in my garage. If anyone wants some.
That's amazing.
I
you're
have
at-
to say, the lightning bolts were a joke to look cool. But
Are they all the
actually,
same colour?
They fit underneath your helmet. Like I've never had glasses that fit better under the dip in your helmet because
Wow.
of the
Mate, well thought out.
perfect. And we've got one pink set, one blue set,
Okay.
depending on your vibe.
They'll
So
blue eye.
You're going to be testing them at Transmadeira next week.
I am all week.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I'm going full enduro. I think full face and sunglasses.
Nice. Yeah, dude.
I've got a bottle cage on my bike. I've got a pump strapped to it,
Yeah.
Ready to go. Mule up.
ready to go. Yeah,
Dude, I'd be nervous about that. I'm not going to lie.
it's going to be good. I'm in a good position. There's no stress. I'm not there to win. I'm not going to get fired if I don't win. Hopefully, I'm not going to win.
You can go around with Jono, can't you?
Exactly what I'm going to do.
You got a good
cruise.
crew. Yeah, it'll be a good crew.
Jono and Couscous and Chris Carl as well. I think is doing it.
Oh, is he?
With a few of his
Oh,
friends,
mint,
had a
yeah.
chat with him
Yeah, yeah.
about it. That'd be cool. I've never
That'd be
met him.
good.
We'll do some bar spins around the way or something. Or flares or whatever.
Go in a balloon.
No, I can't wait. And we've got Swatch 9s, formerly Audi 9s, new spot. We talked about that.
You build that.
I'm not sure this year because it's a big undertaking. It's like 3 weeks of building and then a week of riding. And I've obviously spent a lot of time away doing DarkFest. I did 2 weeks out there for building, came back for a few days to see the family. Got little Freddie at home, so I don't like to spend too long
It must
away,
change a lot
so
when you got a...
it does change an
baby.
awful lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm definitely going to be involved massively with the build, but I just don't think I'm going to be there for the 3 weeks doing it. Hopefully I can pop in and out or something. I actually got the train back from Germany the other day, and it's not too bad. So maybe I can just train there and back a few times during the build, make sure things are going well, and then fully ride the event with full power, which would be a nice change. So I built it for the last 5-6 years.
Well, then he's burnt.
Sea Dog,
Not
and
burnt out,
kind
but
of,
like, by the end
yeah,
of
you
it.
kind of by the time you're riding the course, you've had enough of it because you've sort of ridden it, tested it, practiced it.
It's a long time as well, 3 weeks, isn't it? That's the. I feel like that's the limit.
Yeah, it's not so doable with a little
No, I
family
can
at the
only
moment. I don't
imagine,
want
yeah.
to spend that much time away
No.
in these years. So trying to find a balance with everything right now. Same with Transmadeira, actually. It's a full week trip, so I'm actually only doing the last 3 days of it.
Yeah, yeah,
Just to go and experience it, make a cool video there. But
yeah.
yeah,
So how many events do you do? Do you do crank work still?
still do
They
crank
still-
speed and style. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm going to do, but I'm not doing like the New Zealand one or the Australia one. Like I don't want to fly that far.
Yeah.
For that, I'll
Family
do
man
Innsbruck
now, man.
one.
Just family man, just chill.
Family man.
We were talking
yeah.
about this a few weeks ago. It's nice sometimes. You keep your circle small.
Yeah.
And I think certainly for me as well, I get a little bit older, you're like, nah, I don't really want to be travelling that far anymore. I'm like
Yeah,
quite
I've been
happy
there
just
before. It
Dude,
was fantastic.
baby.
What
and
a
like,
strange father, though. What a
what does daddy do for a living?
120-foot jump guinea pigs and
Oh, my dad's a plumber.
like, what on earth?
I do think that as well. Out there. I'm just like, what am I doing here? Like, I've got a baby. Like, he's gonna be upset if I don't come back.
Yeah.
It's so
Oh, wow,
bizarre
yeah.
to imagine. Like,
And I think as well, explaining as well, like, oh, why can't you pick me up and cuddle me, Dad? Oh, because I land in the back of 110 footers, so I've got broken arms, so I can't pick you up. Like, it's just too weird to explain.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's good though. What a rad dad.
Yeah, right.
Congrats.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We've got I got the little kids ride shotgun.
Nice.
Go try that out later. That's going to be wicked.
What's that? Then he sat on the top tube, is he?
Just a little seat that you can sit in your legs and hold the handlebars. It feels like he's biking as well.
Yeah.
Don't know if he's going to like it or not, but we'll
You
find
do
out.
quite a lot of riding with him, don't you? Does he like it?
We've got a backpack that I just strap him in and go riding like for an hour or two, which he doesn't like that much, but he has to deal with it because that's that. So I thought these little handlebars and stuff he might enjoy that more. 'Cause he's got a little 4-wheel bike that he loves to bomb around. So I
When
thought
did
he
you
might
like
enjoy it.
bikes?
Ooh, good question that.
That
What
is a
age
good
did you?
question. School.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Do you
before
go
then.
riding together? You always been like local to here?
Later? No.
DMR.
Yeah,
When
we-
Sam rode for DMR.
When I was
That's
16,
when you met each other.
and we went on
Oh,
a
right,
road
yeah.
trip to Berlin.
Good time, do
to
we?
eat Timo Fritz.
Yeah, that was
That
good.
was my first
Wow.
sponsored trip.
Okay.
No, I just sort of saw guys with bikes in the bike shed and was like, wow, cool. I used to ride to school and then park my bike, and then everyone had these cool bikes down at the end, like the cool biking crew.
So you came to it pretty late in a way.
Yeah, quite like
Yeah.
accidentally as well.
Okay.
And like just went for a bike ride. Well, I just used to do bike rides on my bike, which
Yeah.
wasn't up to it. And they had all these cool ones, like a proper bike, what you'd call, I guess I had like a Halfords one. And they did all this big lap, all these big jumps, and I was like trying all these jumps. First
No
go on my
way.
bike that didn't work, and they were like, "Oh wow, yeah, you can definitely join the crew. You should probably get a
That's
different bike though."
crazy.
And then got hooked straight away. Then bought magazines, MBUK and stuff,
Yeah.
and saw that it was a real thing. Then was hooked.
That's crazy. Is your brother still ride?
He does ride, but not quite like,
Okay.
not like a weirdo like
Tom?
us, like all the time. Tom, yeah, he's
Yeah.
definitely rides bikes, but not to the level that we've been obsessed with. He does it on weekends.
Does it? He's a weekend warrior.
He's a weekend
He's a
warrior.
weekend warrior.
He's bloody good though.
Yeah.
He's proper Reynolds. It's a Reynolds thing. It's like look at it and then you can do it. I feel like you like work it out. Power brain.
I met him
in
once.
terms
I
of
can't remember
like
where I met him. He worked at a bike shop, I think.
Maybe.
Swinley.
Swinley.
Yeah.
Trail Centre.
Yeah, in Swinley. That's right. I met him there. Wow, that's crazy. Long time ago, that is.
Mm,
Oh,
yeah. Does go fast, doesn't it? Are we old now?
Does go
Dude,
fast.
don't.
But we still like biking.
Don't,
Yeah.
man.
Just as much.
Love it. Oh, I double dipped yesterday and I thought how lucky I am that I love it this much.
A
That I
double
can
dipper, yeah.
went for a massive cross country ride, went up the trails, just the formula I like, you know. But I still felt like such enjoyment
Excited.
from it. Yeah, which is
I was the same as flipping that jump. Like, been doing flipping jumps for 15 years, but still doing one that you're scared of and that you don't know how it's going to go. It's still like the best feeling.
So
I was
good.
hyped for days after that. I'm still hyped now. I'm literally still talking about it. It happened like 3 weeks ago.
so
yeah,
good.
Man, that stuff though, it does. I think having social media really helps with that in a way because you can not relive it, but there's like all this hype around it, and it just keeps going, and you've got this bank of content you keep putting out. Whereas I feel like before it'd just be like it's just done. You come away from the
you
event,
forget
you leave
what
it
it's
all
done.
behind.
Yeah, it's
Documented
true.
nicely. Like I said,
Yeah.
when I watched the first ever DarkFest build videos, it took me exactly back to then, exactly what I was thinking, what I wanted to do with it, what we wanted to achieve, and that really helped to bring into this year's event and be like, oh, cool, we're still sticking to those
There is a
kind
point
of
to
core
that, isn't there?
values.
Yeah.
There is a point to doing it, and like
It's like a scrapbook.
yeah,
It's like an online
I
scrapbook.
can
It's really
I can
cool.
totally see why some people don't want to do it because it can be. I mean, I don't do that side of it, but like it can be a pain, I guess.
Oh, it's such a pain, yeah.
But you've got it, and it's like it is cool to look back
Cool
on,
to look
and
back.
you
It's
know,
amazing, yeah.
having all that content's pretty sick, isn't it?
Yeah, because you can look through Instagram and see like a quick photo of the day, but you don't remember stuff from that. If you
No.
watch a video back, you remember so much more
Totally.
detail, and it takes you right back to what you're doing, even what you're thinking.
Mm.
Do you know what it's going to kill off though? The schoolboy champions. How many people have you met that have said they were schoolboy champions?
Especially at scrambling.
In the scrambling,
Yeah,
there's a lot of schoolboy champions. It's going to kill them off completely because you have proof.
Yeah, you weren't schoolboy champion.
That's so true.
When I was
Yeah.
younger, I was almost thinking I could probably get away with saying I was world champion at something when I'm
Yeah.
older.
Yeah.
You know, because
True.
I've heard too
And now
many
you just
times.
Google it.
Yeah, now they just Google it and they're like,
Fucking
no, you weren't.
Instantly, yeah.
Nah,
No, that was Sam.
no, you weren't,
Pilgrim.
Grandad.
Get back in your chair.
You got it all there. Sick.
It's true, yeah. To bore your grandkids with one day on the 2D video screen. Oh,
Imagine
dude,
what it
so
looked like.
boring.
Yeah.
Granddad's trying to show me more biking
Granddad
videos,
Reynolds,
for
they're not
God's
going to
sake.
be bored. They're
I'll
gonna
tell
be
you what, though,
hyped,
like when you look
surely.
at like technology and how it's advancing and all these new things, right? I think the virtual reality side of potentially stuff what you do is actually a really cool. Imagine being able to sit and put the VR goggles on and go through
Mate,
a DarkFest line.
you get to do the
So
120
sick.
backflip.
Yeah.
There's some sort of
Rolling your
electric
eyes in
thing on your
there.
sphincter, just
Yeah.
contracting your bubble.
Exactly.
You can smell it.
Yeah. It's doing like tummy rumble for the nerves and the butterflies.
Yeah,
like,
you can
haptic
smell
suit
the
on.
knee pads on the run-in.
Yeah.
It's
You've
gonna
been
be like
working
that,
on.
isn't it? But yeah, you're right. That dangerous stuff is probably going to die out sooner or later, isn't it? I
Yeah.
think our grandkids maybe will definitely think we're weird.
Think about every alien drawing. It's always got big head, tiny little arms, hasn't it? They're not like
No, they're not strong.
they're not though, are they?
No, because you don't need
They're
to
like
be strong.
evolved. There's no point.
No
No
point.
point
After a
doing
certain point.
110-foot jumps because they could just do it in a
Who-
computer.
Who's impressed?
What's the point?
Anyway.
Good point to end on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Many
nice.
thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I
Pleasure.
appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for stopping
Thanks for
by.
having me. I
your
love the new
build.
studio. It looks absolutely great.
Yeah, you're always welcome. Anytime.
Yeah, I mean,
Pop over every now and again.
Yeah, please.
Dude.
Please.
here every Monday.
Yeah.
Please.
Every
Pop
Monday.
in.
Well,
Roughly.
give or take. Give or take.
it depends. Every other Monday.
Yeah, exactly. Many
All
thanks.
right.
Round of applause for Sam. Thanks for
guys.
listening,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Ride Companion out. That was the best episode we've ever done.
So
wasn't
good.
it?
Yeah, how are you not going to want to hit like and subscribe after that?
I don't know how you
How?
could do it. I don't know. I mean, maybe they could watch the last video over your way.
Yeah, or
Above
you
it-
can
above
watch
you.
a clip that we think you might like. Either
Who-
way.
Who
hit
knows
like,
where it is?
hit
Yeah.
subscribe,
Yeah.
drop a comment. Job's a good one.
Thanks for watching The Ride Companion.